Hold on, but I said he was taking the wrong microphone.
Unacceptable.
Anytime today. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, joining me as always are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
Nice. We're here. It's halfway through the year, guys. We are officially halfway through 2024. Where has the time gone? I looked at our document and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess it is that time of year that we do this thing where we recap what's happened. I genuinely am like, it's weird. It feels like this year's been going on forever, but also with the number of games we've covered, I also feel like this feels like April. Like, what's happening? Like, where are we? My internal clock is just all over the place.
It's definitely been a slow start to the year, but thankfully it'll roller coaster down at when September rolls around.
You hope.
It's like
all things
DEFCON 5 once we get to September.
Unless things get delayed and then it goes to DEFCON 5 in the spring of 2025. So it's one or the other. We'll find out.
I'm an optimist.
This week we're just gonna recover. We're gonna recount and we're gonna go over everything that's been happening in the first 6 months of this year. From January to June, we're going to talk all about it, all the game releases, what our impressions are. Have any of our opinions changed on the games that we played? We'll give a bit of a recap on our thoughts and all that jazz. And then we'll end this episode for those of you who are committed to the Fantasy Critic, because for some reason there's a lot of you sickos that love watching the Fantasy Critic stuff. We'll do an update on that too, because that's all over the place. So we'll recount all of that this week. There's no real housekeeping really. The last review is still up. Go watch that if you have not watched the Crow Country review, or if you've not read what's the game called?
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
I wasn't going to tell him. I wanted to watch him struggle.
I would have just come up with a random name, and it probably would have been funnier.
He's going off the cuff right now. He didn't prepare this.
Did I heck? Dude, I've had a headache all day. You think I'm spending time reading? No, sir. But you can go and check out those latest reviews on the website, hotgamesonly.com, or alternatively, watch the video revision for the Crow Country review. And thank you for the support on that, as always.
Or alternatively, stick around a little bit into this episode, and Hunter and I will give our impressions on those games again.
Yes, in a more condensed version, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see. And yeah, if you are new here, hey, why not subscribe? It helps us out a lot. It helps us get review copies. It helps us, it promotes us into the ether where we need more people to watch our stuff. So if you do have the spare time to do so, and you don't mind us polluting your sub feed once a week with these shenanigans, please subscribe. And thank you to our podcast listeners for following and rating on podcasts as always. You guys are cool. Thank you. Maybe one day we'll reward you with like an extra spoiler cast like we say we should, but we never do. Tee-hee. It's all good. You get the spoiler casts early on podcasts. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that before. That's a perk of following us on podcasts. I always put out the spoiler casts as soon as we've recorded them.
Do that? Huh.
Yeah, I've always done that.
I don't think I knew that.
Just as a little thank you. Yeah, usually it's like the night of or a couple of hours afterwards. But
That's a treat.
On YouTube, you have to wait because the algorithm doesn't like if we put stuff out straight away. It goes, no one watched at 2 a.m. on a Thursday. Fuck off. And then you just have to deal with it. But hey, it's all good. But yeah, anyway, shall we talk about some video games, mate? I feel like talking about some video games that came out in the year 2024.
Yeah, let's talk about video games.
Were there any this year?
A few.
There's been a couple.
Okay, cool.
Definitely 3.
Nice. Shall we start with January? As we do in a year? As crazy as that sounds?
Nah. Let's work backwards from June.
Reverse
Just start picking random
order.
ones and have everybody OCD freak the hell out. Yeah.
That's something I would
become ungovernable.
Yeah.
I
Where are we
approve.
starting?
I think probably the first big release for January would have been Prince of Persia: Lost Crown.
What? We're not
Hunter,
going to
you
count the
played that, right?
pedestrian port to the Nintendo Switch, Carl? We're not going to count that?
Pedestrian already came out a
Oh.
couple years ago. Who cares?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was mid.
And I definitely knew that.
It was on Xbox
I've
and
definitely
PlayStation
heard
and
of the
PC a while ago.
pedestrian.
I played it.
You play as a
I talked about it on this
little
podcast.
dude on a sign.
You did.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
100%.
puzzle game. You played it.
It's about an hour long, and the bit got old
Oh,
after like 30 minutes. So take that for what you will. Um,
I mean,
it was all right.
at least the bit got old after 30 minutes and it was only an hour. Some puzzle games, the bit gets old after 30 minutes and they go on for 8.
It was fine. I just was
yeah. Have you
expecting
played a
more.
Ubisoft game?
Hello, The
True, very
Witness.
true. Yeah, you got a point. Anyway, yeah, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was the first big game of the year. Um,
Yeah,
Hunter,
Hunter,
you
you
played
played
it.
this.
I did. It was a really well-made game. I'm glad to see Prince of Persia back. Because I played Sands of Time all those years ago, and it's my favorite thing Ubisoft has made. Here's to hoping their remake of it turns out better than it was looking a few years back. Um,
Yeah, well, they've shown another. They've changed the logo, and they've been like, didn't they just give it a year release of like 2026 or something? They just did
uh,
that. So
well, here's to hoping. But yeah, this is a cool little return to the series, a cool direction to take it to. I think the Metroidvania approach suits it.
yeah,
As
Mm.
far as that goes, managed to keep things fresh with all the power ups and typical fare that you get in these kind of games. The what was it? The thing where you can like snapshot the memories and like mark them on the map is something that I think going forward most games like this should consider implementing.
It'd
That
be
way,
helpful. It'd definitely be helpful.
if you've been to somewhere, like you could cut out a lot of stumbling around and wondering where you've been if you just have if you just are able to mark things on a map that's in the game. Because I'm not out here to do homework and do that on like a computer monitor. Who cares? It's not
Yeah.
that serious. I'll stumble around for days if I have to.
Like
But
there were definitely times of me going through like Symphony of the Night on my first playthrough where I'm like, man, I've got this item to let me go through blue doors, but there's only like two blue doors and I don't remember where they were.
I think that
This
kind
would
of
have been
I think another illustration of that being, just an easy thing that makes things go smoother without fundamentally changing a lot was like the Resident Evil 2 remake,
oh
because
yeah.
they had the map that made life easier, and now you weren't just running back and forth from the item box trying to remember what did what.
yeah.
So I think that's something that they should implement. But yeah, really well made game. I liked a lot of the boss fights towards the end of it. One guy just feels like he ripped Virgil's move set, but in 2D, so that was fun. um, um, y- but yeah, really solid game. Never reviewed it, but other stuff came out. Final Fantasy
The one that
came
got
knocking.
away. Apparently,
Yeah,
we got quite a few. There was quite a few of them that got away. But yeah,
you you could
it would
still
have got a
write a text
recommend.
review.
yeah, we could. Yeah, you could. But yeah, like I think this game got plenty of roses from everywhere else, right? Like I don't think that
Yeah.
this game is lacking positive reviews.
Everywhere else
Um,
except for like sales wise, it feels like did
yeah,
not
but
sell very
like
well.
it didn't. But also, I don't want to almost sound like pessimistic, but it's not like I didn't see that one coming. This is the return of a franchise that has literally been dead and buried for a long time now, and they return with a 2D Metroidvania. I'm like, it's gonna do well for a certain audience, but yeah, Metroidvanias are never really the big genre that's going to get a huge
Mhm.
number of people involved. I mean, even Metroid itself, which is beloved, and Metroid
Yeah,
Dread is a fantastic video game, and it's the best-selling Metroid game ever. Only sold like 2 or 3 million units. It's like, oh, that's kind of sucks. But hopefully more people pick it up with word of mouth, and then obviously,
it's been on sale for like $20 pretty frequently too. So like, pick it up if you're interested.
yeah, definitely. Um, what was next? What's next?
Let's see.
It would have been another
Another
Code
code?
Recollection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
The
reviewed
day
that
after
game.
Prince of Persia, you did.
It's that game's review is up on the YouTube and on the website if you want to go and check that out. I really liked this game in the end. I wasn't vibing with it at first. If you go and watch the podcast of the first impressions for Another Code, I'd actually recommend that you don't because I think it's a very bad take that I had at the start of that video game. I think I was being very critical on the game when I hadn't given it a full shot, but I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It's a very standard. For those of you that are unaware, it is a remake of two visual novels from the Nintendo DS. One of which the sequel, sorry, one from the Wii, one from the DS and one from the original Wii, and the sequel, the one on the Wii, was never released in America. It was a EU and Japan exclusive, so this was the first time Americans got the second one, another
Hmm.
code R, which is even more confusing now that there's recollection as well. So that's fun. Um, but yeah, I liked this game quite a bit. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one as much as I was of the second one. Um, which, lucky for me, the second one is like three times the length of the first one. So really, it feels like the first one's more of a prologue. But I think it does a really good job of modernizing uh, a DS game. I think it does a really good job of that. And it, like I kind of came across in the review, it's like it's almost like it feels like a precursor to the modern kind of narrative games that we got, like Life is Strange. It feels like it's very much in that ilk with random powers and seeing like ghostly premonitions and teenage angst all over the fucking place, right? I feel like
Yeah.
it got in on that a bit earlier than the rest of the games industry did. I like these games quite a lot. I feel like this is going to be a game that again didn't do particularly too well, but there'll be deep discounts on it as time goes on, and I
Mhm.
definitely recommend it as you are waiting for Switch 2 when we're in this graveyard period, right? It's definitely one to keep an eye on if you're into narrative adventure games. I think it's pretty snazzy. It's very gorgeous. It's one of the best looking Nintendo Switch games as well, which isn't saying much when there's a load of potatoes on there, but you know, it's pretty good looking.
Alrighty. Just looking through the list. We got a Wikipedia page opened up.
I think the
Yeah.
next one would be Under Night, since none of us played Tekken.
Oh shit, it's my turn.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Yeah,
Oh,
we should mention games. We get
oh
mention.
baby.
We'll mention games even if we haven't played them that they came out because this is a recap, and we'll just go. We haven't played them, right? So for stuff like Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney trilogy, none of us played that. Hunter, I assume you're gonna get to it eventually.
Yeah, it's on the list of things to
Yeah,
do,
but you
but
know,
I haven't done it yet.
we haven't got to that yet. Last was Part Two. Got a remaster. That was a funny
Who
joke for a
cares?
little while. Naughty Dog try and make a new game challenge impossible. Um,
I don't know if I knew that that came out this year.
no,
That's
neither
because
did
it
I.
feels like it's been happening every year since it came out.
Mm. It's because it has. It was Last of Us Part Two was on the PS4. Then in when the PS4 came out, the PS5 came out, they did a patch where it was 60 FPS, so that was technically the next thing. Then it was Part One the year after that, and then it's now Part Two again with no
Oh
changes
boy.
except the
Except now there's a box
extra
that
mode.
is white.
No, there was the extra
Oh
mode. There
yeah,
was the
there was the roguelike mode.
roguelite
Why is
mode,
every
the classic, the gimme of the generation. Every game has to have one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next one is Under Night in Birth 2.
Yeah. This is game I did a review for. Um, honestly,
Did
I
kind of
feel
well as
really
well.
bad.
You don't have to underplay
It
it. It was a good
it did
review.
really well, and I think part of that was PS5 had or PS4 and PS5 both had early access if you
Hmm.
pre-ordered, which was very helpful for getting this review out the day the game came out.
Like I say,
So
please subscribe. It helps us get
it
games
helped
earlier.
build a
That's
lot
a
of
lot easier.
traction.
It'd be
It
really
really
nice for
does
Hunter
help
to review
y'all.
an RPG and not have it come out a month and a half later because games are really long. That'd be great. Please subscribe,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Hi, yeah. I'll take your Dragon Age copies.
But yeah, Under Night, it's very fun. It's also a really hard fighting game to get into because a lot of fighting games nowadays have started to include like s- it, stuff to help beginners get into it, like easy special move inputs, or like Street Fighter 6, for example, has the classic and the modern mode, which modern
Yeah,
just gives you one button specials and everything like that. But Under Night 2 doesn't have anything like that, so you're kind of just expected to learn all your motion inputs and everything like that. And characters have pretty deep move sets too, which that's something I never brought up in the review because stuff like that is just kind of second nature to me, where I'm like, I didn't think of it being a problem. It's something that never occurred to me thinking about it. But Under Night, it's I enjoyed my time with it, but the problem with it is that the game is when the game launched, it came out on PlayStation and PC, and also Switch, but I'm sure no one plays that. I
What do you
forgot it came
mean?
out on Switch. But when it launched on PC, the online mode just didn't work. So
Oh.
the game was kinda just dead on arrival, unfortunately, which I'm it's kind of upsetting because Under Night is sick, and I would have liked to see this game thrive. I'm pretty sure it's been fixed since then. I hope it's been fixed because it's came out in January,
You'd think that
but
for a game that has like what? Because this is one of those you can either play local versus or online, and that's basically
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah,
You'd think
there's
they
not
would have
much
had
more to that.
you would have had the online down, like down at the start.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
I
don't,
mean,
if those are like you,
it
if it's
was
like your only feature, that should be like it'd be different if it was like Mortal Kombat to some extent, because that's
yeah.
you got a single player mode, or Soul Calibur has like infinity single player modes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the online worked on PlayStation, but I feel like a lot of the player base was PC or would have been PC, which
Nerds.
to just have a core feature and basically a necessary feature of fighting games just nowadays just not work is very unfortunate. And it also didn't help that Tekken 8 came out the day after.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just like a perfect shitstorm. But I enjoyed my time with Undernight. I liked it. The cast is super cool. There's a lot of there's a lot of really cool looking characters in this game. The music fucking slaps.
Oh yeah, the music in that game's great.
If you want deeper thoughts, check out my review because I wrote it when I played it and I knew what I was talking about back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, as Carl mentioned, next big games up were the 26th, which was a bit of a big day for everybody that wasn't us. Um, Tekken 8 came out, obviously very well received. And so did Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Yakuza 8. Both did well. I'm very
Yeah.
surprised. The thing that I'm most surprised about with Like a Dragon 8 is kind of how quickly that game just kind of went out of the atmosphere. Because the thing that I've noticed with Yakuza games, at least in the past, is when a Yakuza game comes out, it's like big boy Yakuza time, and then everyone just starts fucking shit posting. But I never really I was scared because I'd finally started the franchise, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to avoid spoilers. I'm gonna have to do all that. Didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Don't know anything about this story. Nothing
I
really
don't
has
know,
been chucked at me.
because like
I feel like I barely saw anything about
Mm.
this game.
I feel like in general,
Don't get me wrong.
the
It's been
first
very
time that
successful. It sold over 1 million
Yeah.
copies in 3 days. It's like the best-selling Yakuza
yeah,
game in that
Got
period of time.
a 90
Yeah,
on Metacritic.
yeah.
nothing to do with game quality.
But what I was saying was, I feel like in general, the first time I remember like actually being hit with specifics about a Yakuza game was, the last one. I've like Yakuza as a whole has been this kind of nebulous entity that I've been semi aware of before, but I don't remember like, it wasn't like oh, this is Yakuza Day, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
but you know why that
And
is?
then it's
It's because
Yakuza Day like
we talk
every
about all these Yakuza games like there's 8 of them and people are talking about them forever. But literally the reason that is, Hunter, is because we've had 8. The one before that was 7, and the one before
yeah.
that was 0.
0.
Because 0 didn't get released in the West until 2017. So this is
Oh,
only like, and that was the big spike. So it's like, yeah, in my head, I'm like, that's crazy because obviously 0 came out in like 2015 in Japan, so it has been ages since then. But it's like in the West, it's been like only 3 times. Like there's a reason for that, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy to even think about that. But yeah, I mean, it sold great. I've not heard anything about the story, which is good for me because I'm still catching up. So I look forward to playing it. Probably next year at this rate because I'm not doing well. I think one of my gaming things was like, oh, at least play 3 Yakuzas this year. We're on 0 after 6 months, guys. It's going
Yeah,
well. It's going really well.
yeah.
Um, but
Get
no.
ready for Yakuza summer.
And like I said, though, it sold like 1 million in a week. So That Yakuza's doing fine. No one's crying any tears at Ryoga Gotoku. Dude, they're just having the time of their life, making Yakuza games, making Judgment when they just want to do a detective Yakuza game, and then when they're feeling really spicy, they make a Monkey Ball. So it's all good. They're fine. They're vibing.
You'll love to see it.
What's up next? Are we
I
into?
believe we move into February now.
Wow, good
Yeah,
January though.
Congratulations, Kyle. It's your turn again.
it's January was pretty quiet.
It was quiet, but there was some good stuff. Like I
There was
say,
good
like
stuff, but yeah, a lot
I
of
really liked
none
Another
none of the
Code. There
heavy
was some
hitters were out yet.
there was some stuff to get us
Well, I
learning,
say
but
that
then
Tekken
yeah,
came out, but
on
I don't
February
like it. We
1st,
just talked about Yakuza.
yeah,
I'm paying attention, guys. I promise.
February 1st, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, this video game that I forgot the name of. Let's be real here.
Yeah. Oh
JRPGs,
boy. Oh good. Ethan's got a take.
can you come up with some fucking sensible names? Like, come on, guys, can we do that? Can we do that? There's a reason why. There's a reason why it's like, oh, Final Fantasy, basic bitch names, right? But at least we can go, oh, yeah, 16, good to know. Grand Blue Fantasy,
Yeah.
I never know. When you've just got a subtitle, it makes it very hard for normies like me to distinguish the lineage. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard. Like, when I look at the Mana series, I'm like, you could literally just give
It
me the
certainly
titles of all
doesn't
of these
help
and
that
go,
until the fighting game a couple years ago, it was a phone game. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
fair enough. I might let Grand Blue off then. But I'm looking at you like Trials
You
of
can let
Mana,
them off the
Secrets of
hook.
Mana, Gardens of Mana.
Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah. But no, obviously review is up. Recent review is
Yeah,
up on
review
the
is up.
website.
This is so Grand Blue. I played it recently, and honestly, I was really surprised by it. I didn't think I would end up liking it as much as I did, and
Mm.
it was a really pleasant surprise to have this year. I was exposed to Grand Blue not from the phone game, but from the fighting game, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and it always looked really interesting to me because I'm like, it's got a cool looking cast of characters. I like the art style. I like the world. Everything about it just looks really cool, but I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to catch up on 10 years of phone game lore
What
to
do you mean?
try
That
and
sounds
get
great. That
involved
sounds
in
like
this.
good fun, dude.
Look,
Oh,
man, I just spent the last year and a half getting caught up on 10 years of Final Fantasy 14. I don't
dude,
have time to catch up on 10 more years of something.
dude, I've come to
At
the
some point, you
realization I
gotta
don't
draw
have
the
it in me.
line.
Dude, I don't have that dog in me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, when it's like thinking about like 5 years ago when I caught up on Kingdom Hearts, I'm like
Oh my
26-year-old
god.
Ethan would not be interested. I couldn't do it. I've not
Oh,
got it in
yeah.
me. I played all of Kingdom
Absolutely
Hearts in 2 months. I couldn't do that now.
That's like a lethal dose.
It's taken me 2 years to get through 4 Yakuzas, mate. I can't do it. Like, that's not happening. No chance.
Some people would call that a mental illness to go through Kingdom Hearts that quickly.
My doctors are still trying to find the
It left
reasoning
its
behind
mark
it.
on him too. Look, he's got the Mickey Mouse on his shirt.
Oh, no.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. I wouldn't. I'm not a Disney. I'm not a Disney fan, but I am a theme park fan. So this is where I got this from Disney World. I'm a theme park fan, guys. I don't give a shit about
Mm.
Disney. Ask me
Hey,
the last
fellas.
Disney film I watched. I couldn't tell you. I think I watched
Yeah, I got no
Soul
idea.
when that came out at
Dude, I
Christmas
saw that might be the
2022.
last one for me too. Like I saw Soul,
I think
early
Coco might have been my
21.
last one.
I've been meaning to watch it for ages. My friend's like, Coco's really good. I'm like, yeah, but the last time you told me that was Inside Out, and I thought Inside Out was the most overrated film I've ever watched in my life. Everyone was like, this will change your life. I'm like, no, it didn't.
It was just
I want my
notable
money
because it was the
back.
I know
first
what
like
emotions are. All I feel is sadness. Give me my money back.
that one was just notable because it was the first like good one Pixar had done
Yeah.
in a while.
But no, I am not a Disney fan. Literally, other than Kingdom Hearts and watching Soul, that is my entire exposure to Disney, other than theme parks in the past 5 years. But I also want to know, I'm not one of those Disney adults with the theme parks either. I go to Universal. I like rides. I don't give a shit about theming or any of that garbage, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, back to
Anyway,
video games.
back to video games. Kingdom Hearts, guys. It's coming out this year. Get ready. Am I right?
God, fingers crossed, dude. We need more games for the end of the year. But no, like I said, Grand Blue was a very pleasant surprise for me. Um, it's also interesting because, like, when I was doing research for the review, I learned that this game was supposed to come out in like 2016, but it got stuck in dev hell.
Oh hell
Hmm.
yeah,
So
Prince of
it,
Persia.
it was supposed to be originally also it was meant to be like developed by Platinum Games.
Oh hell yeah, Scalebound.
So
Yeah.
it was that was like a
Oh,
wild bit of research
they had to move
to
on to
do all
greener
that.
pastures like Babylon's Fall.
Yeah,
And
dude.
Bayonetta 3.
At least that wasn't like a total disaster. Babylon's Fall still
Yeah, but it
makes me
wasn't great
recoil.
either.
Bro, Platinum Games will forever. I will always look at Platinum Games and go, I hope you take no offense from this Platinum Games. I have liked some of your video games in the past, but I also sometimes struggle to comprehend how you survive when so many game
Yeah.
studios just disappear and you sit here and you just fucking pull a wild one out of your ass. Like sometimes they hit a bit, but then sometimes you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I
Really?
I
Yeah.
wonder I wonder the same thing about, like, Vanillaware, because like, they run out of budget with pretty much every game they make, and it's not like their games are huge either, like,
Well, no, but it
critically
seems like
huge.
they find enough people that like them. It
Yeah.
seems like every time.
Don't
But
get me wrong,
Apparently.
I'm glad they get to keep making stuff, they make good stuff, but
Platinum,
I'm
on the
like,
other hand, is
"How do
very
y'all
much
keep
like
doing this?"
you look at them and it's clearly there's two different versions of them that show up to everything they make, and
Yeah,
you
but it's
gotta
not even
flip
the
the
same.
coin.
There's no consistency onto it. It's like I should be buying Bayonetta 3 and going, okay, at least it's the Bayonetta team. We know they can cook. Whereas Bayonetta 3 stands on its own compared to Bayonetta 1 and 2. Whereas Bayonetta 1 and 2, I'm like, oh, fucking fantastic experiences. Bayonetta 3 was play the first hour and a half and go, this is kind of ass, and then turned it off and then never touched it ever again. Like,
Yep.
Platinum, you are special. Please continue being yourselves, but also stop making the bad ones. Just do the good ones every 4 years, dude. Like, just come on, guys, stop tripping.
Where's Astral Chain 2?
Where is
Nintendo
that's a
bought the
surefire win.
IP,
That's
so maybe the Switch too, or maybe
I
they'll
God.
hope
give it to
so.
somebody else to make.
I'd play a second Astral Chain.
I've still
Me
been
too.
meaning to get the first one. I never
Yeah.
got it. Um,
That's a game I've been meaning to replay at some point.
can I still buy Astral Chain, or is that like out of print now? Is it too late for me? Is it over? I'm not
It
buying
might
it
be too
digital,
late.
bro. Oh no, it's like £60 to buy now.
Oh,
No.
wow, what a surprise. A Nintendo game hasn't gone down in price.
That's gone
Big
up. It
shock.
was
Who could
supposed. It
have
was only
foreseen?
It was only 50. I go. Can I buy it from the Nintendo store physically? I can. It's fine, guys. I
Oh,
can still pay £50 for a 5-year-old video game. Thank God for Nintendo, dude. Oh,
anyways,
jeez,
Grand Blue,
Louise.
Grand Blue, very good. Very short too, which
Oh yeah.
very nice. Now, always nice when action RPGs don't overstay their welcome. Very good. Probably goes on sale a lot. I would say
Hmm.
check it out. Go read
Before
my
we move on
review if you
to
want more
yeah,
information, since
before we move
we
on to
should
February
move on in
2nd, bro.
February.
No, before we move on to February 2nd, I want to give a shout out to The Legend of Legacy HD Remastered for the most
Oh yeah, dude. I
nonsensical.
have no idea what that
That
means.
is a
Oh,
not
it's
a
a
video
3DS
game
game.
name I've ever heard in my life.
Oh,
The
it's a
Legend
Oh,
of
and it's
3DS
from
game. It all
Legacy.
Atlas.
makes sense.
Legacy?
It's a
The
3DS
Legacy.
game from Atlas and NIS America.
Bro, The
Oh,
Legend of
the
Legacy
usual
HD
suspects.
Remastered. Get the fuck out of here. That's like the most
The
bullshit name ever in my
the
life.
Legend of Zegend.
Dude, you just
It got a 67 on Metacritic.
perfect, dude.
Probably on the name alone.
Yeah,
Probably.
dude, The Legend of Legacy is kind of a bit, if you're like me and you're kind of sleep deprived right now, bit of a tongue twister. Like I said, I nearly went with Legend of Legacy. Like, there you go. Like, just go with it, dude. Like, oh. Anyway, June 2nd came out, and that was a fucking 50-50 day for
February
video
2nd.
game fans. Um, two games came out. One all
Should we
three
get
of
the
us
bad one
played.
out of the way first?
Yeah, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League came out, and the biggest compliment I can give Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is it's currently in the Steam summer sale for £18 already. So you know that one went really well.
It
Seventy
seems like a
pounds to
lot.
18 in 5 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, a game so good
I have a friend who
it turned
bought this
Warner
game.
Brothers into making single player games again. Apparently, there you go. God, what a
You
shit
know,
show that game is.
sometimes you need to screw up to remember how to be good.
It just makes
Mm.
me laugh. I will never forget. Like I know we don't talk about Hogwarts Legacy because why the fuck should we? But sold 6 bajillion copies, right? And what they took from that was, yes, we need to make more multiplayer video games. More games as a service was what Warner Brothers came up with on that one. Well, I'm like, you're absolute dumbasses. I hope you fucking fail in
Yeah,
everything else.
stupid. Uh,
But anyways, alongside Suicide Squad, a little game called Persona 3 Reload came out.
I know that one. I reviewed it.
You did.
That is up
It's
on
a
Hot
shame you
Games
missed
Done.
first impressions.
Yes, because I was ill. I was literally vomiting as you were recording it. I remember
it's
it
okay.
nicely. It was.
The
Poor
following
guy.
week, we did second impressions
I
where
was
you were
very,
out.
dude. I was so annoyed because literally it was like I had booked the day off to play it, like when it came out, and I was ill, and it's the first time that I've been properly ill, like vomit ill, in like 6 years, and it was the most nasty. Like it was horrible. Um, but hey, I got around to it in the end. We're fine. I don't know what to think about this game 4 months on. I like this game a lot. I think there's some great stuff with this game. I still listen to it, the soundtrack on repeat every single day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I still stand by my score. I still think it's a 5 out of 5. I still have a very good time with it.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
I still look back at it and go, man, I love it. I also wish there was a tiny bit more of love put into it. I think for Season Pass, the fact that it's like $40 for the fucking answer or whatever, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, Atlas. Stop clowning around. Just give us the shit. Stop being dickheads about it. And then there's just other little bits where I'm like, ugh, like the lighting. Like, just come on, come on, Atlas. You could do a little bit better here, but it's still a fantastic version of the game. Don't get me wrong. It's just there's little nitpicks now where I look at it where like the honeymoon period's over and I look at the inside of the dorm and it's like got the most fucking ass lighting of all time in a video game and I'm like, come on, mate. This is like Persona 3 is definitive Persona here. Come on, you can do it. Make some good lighting, please. Come on.
Me personally, like Persona 3 is my favorite of the modern
Mm,
Persona trilogy, so it's hard for me to be objective with this game, but I like I played Reload and I just fell in love all over again, dude. All the new voice actors with the new takes on the characters, the music getting
mm.
reworked, just a fucking battle system where you can control your party members.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was everything I wanted it to be, and I'm looking forward to September, is it, when the answer comes out?
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it?
looking forward to
I
finally
don't
getting
remember.
to play that. I could have played FES, but no, I'm not doing that
Yeah. I
because
mean, that's the thing is,
the
yeah.
answer's locked on hard mode
That is
with no
stupid.
party control.
That's
So
especially stupid.
No, and I like I
Imma
say,
Imma say
I think
no.
it's a fantastic port. Like I say, you can go like a remake. You can go and read my review. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I still stand by the 5 out of 5.
Mhm.
And I still have my issues with Persona 3 as a game, not as Reload as a remake, just Persona 3 as a game. I have my issues with that as a thing where I'm like,
Yeah.
Tartarus bores the shit out of me sometimes, and there's like little
Yeah.
bits and pieces where I'm like, I think the ending doesn't really come together as much as I'd like it to, and I think there's some beautiful moments in Persona 3, and I almost wish they'd spend more time on that than where they fucking end it with. I'm like, man, I'd love the characters in this game are so great. I love the character dynamics so much. Why do we have to focus the ending on the fucking worst characters in the game? Like, come on, like either give me the spice or fuck off. But
Yeah.
I still love it. I still think it's fantastic. I just think it's. I wish Atlas would care more when it comes to just doing like. Sometimes it feels like they're doing the bare minimum. Like, come on, Atlas, you can do better. Persona 3 was always going to be a 5 out of 5 anyway. Because Persona 3 is a fantastic fucking video game. But I don't love everything that the Final Fantasy remake trilogy is doing, right? But I'm like, man, those games are gorgeous. And I look at Persona 3 and they've got the basic Unity, the basic Unreal Engine lighting. I'm just sitting here wanting to fucking hit my head on the keyboard going, come on, Atlas, you can do it. Fight the shaders, Atlas, you can do it, buddy. I believe. Come on. I know you can do it. Persona 5 had the lighting all right. Come on, Atlas. You can do it. I believe in you. but I love it. I think there's so much good in it. I think the voice acting is better. I think the music is better. I think there's so much better about it. Um,
Most of the character portraits are better.
all of the
Yeah.
character
Hakuga.
portraits are better. Um,
And we talked about this recently too, a couple episodes back, but voiced social links goes such a long way
did
in
It
making me
does.
care about them.
If I
it?
had to read the little girl's social link, I wouldn't have liked her.
I didn't
Yeah.
like her in the original,
Yeah.
and I do. I really like that social link here. I that's something that's 100% going to stick. That was something that is 100% going to stick
Yeah.
with Persona 6, and I hope it does. I'd go so far to say I hope as much as possible is voiced in Persona 6. I really do, because it does add so much to it. Where I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, it makes it feel more important, which is great because I feel like everything's important in Persona. All the subtext, all of the little character drips that you need. I'm like, it's all important. But getting that voice acting and actually, especially with the side characters, just spending more time with them.
Mhm.
Because by comparison, I mean, Persona 3 and 4 originally, it's literally just the text that you get. You're just like, yo, chill out with this text from a side social link.
Yeah.
But like Persona 5, it's like social link 1 and social link 10, and then everything else is just kind of whatever, right? I'm like, I loved the voice social links. I think it's the best part of Persona 3, really.
For
Um,
sure, especially now that Atlas has a budget, like
yeah,
like a budget and a name to stand on now,
Yeah.
like I
which
say, and this
not
game
something they
also
had back in P3.
best selling Persona game in 3 days
Yeah.
or whatever, sold 1 million, fastest selling. Shouldn't say best selling,
Oh.
fastest selling. Um,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
I'm Persona. I think Persona 6 is good. I'm very excited for Persona 6, whether it's next year or the year after. I think that's going to be a very
Mhm.
big moment for games. I think it is going to be a very interesting moment, for better or worse. I think it's going to be a terrible time on the internet, but I think there's going to
It'll either
be.
save the world or destroy the
I
world.
think there's going to
It'll
be a
do
very big
both.
explosion when that game comes
Yeah.
out. Especially if the rumors are true and it's out on Switch, the next Switch and PlayStation and Xbox and PC all at the same time. I think that's going to be a very big deal.
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out the review if you want to.
Yeah, did a good
Um,
job with that review.
Thank you. And I did mention the
Alright.
lack of FMC for all 3 people that cared about that. I did put that in the review. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I think those people are a bit more worried about her being tarnished by the fellow on the internet now.
By Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct information, Hunter. That is correct information.
Oof.
Anyways,
that was wild. That was wild. Could we go back to
that
that?
was
Answer
so
that? Those were the good.
stupid.
Those were the good days, dude. That was so fun. Anyway,
Anyways, we got 2 shooters to talk about next. We got Foam Stars and Helldivers 2.
I played both,
Man,
so
I
I could
forget.
talk about
You
both
played
of them.
Foam Stars?
When? Why? Are you
I played the
okay?
beta for
Is this a
Foam
cry
Stars.
for
I didn't
help?
play the full game. Did not play the full game. I played the beta for Foam Stars. Fuck off. I played the beta.
That doesn't make it better.
Yeah, Foam Stars was rubbish, so no wonder it died within like 30 seconds of being released. Yeah.
I think it
I-
beats Destruction All Stars' record for quickest burnout.
Yeah, I can also say that I think Destruction All Stars was the better game out of the 2 as well, so that's saying something. But Foam Stars literally, I don't know what the people were smoking at Summer Game Fest last year where they were like, it looks actually like it's pretty fun. I'm like, it wasn't. It really wasn't fun. I did not like it. It was Splatoon, but with foam, and it was like, you'd think, oh, it's just a
Despite
Splatoon
not being
knockoff.
made for the Switch, it looks worse than Splatoon,
Yeah.
visually speaking.
And, I have my own problems with Splatoon. The fact that is a franchise that peaked at Splatoon 1, there's plenty to judge there, but Foam Stars is worse than even the lowest points of Splatoon, so take that for what you will. Helldivers 2, that was a bigger game. That was a very big game. I don't think anybody actually expected it to be as big as it was, but there you go.
Caught me by surprise for sure.
Yeah.
I thought Helldivers
Did
2...
you good on the Fantasy Critic? That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I knew it was going to review well. The other one did fine. And then I was like,
Ethan and I didn't know that.
No.
well,
Here's my
played
thing
the
with...
other
Yeah. Again, I didn't write a review for Helldivers 2. I didn't play too much of it. I played like 20 odd hours of Helldivers in the end, so not that much. I thought it was fun. Um, I didn't necessarily see the love for it that everybody else saw. I thought it was fine. I thought it was very competent. I thought it was fun to play, but I'm also I don't know if it's just I'm at that point in my gaming life, should I say, where I just don't find the idea of the constant cycle of just progression entertaining anymore. Like I just don't find that solo grind
Yeah,
interesting anymore.
I've I've
Yeah.
never had that interest. That's why like go as far back as like I've always been perplexed why people like prestiging in Call of Duty. I'm like, you just
I
reset
love that. I
yourself.
loved it back in the day, and I can tell you
Yeah.
why. It's because one, I was young, so I didn't have that many video games to play. So
So you needed the illusion of progress to
yeah, and the
go back
dopamine
over
there.
again or
And two,
whatever.
I had
Yeah.
friends
So
to play it with, right? Where I was like, I've always said Call of Duty to me has always been like a background game. I'm talking to friends on a party chat. I'm just having those conversations. It's just something for my brain to do, which I'm not really concentrating that much on while I actually just, talk to friends, hang out, do other things, listen to a podcast. But I can't do it anymore. I just don't find it interesting. Um,
but yeah,
in the
and
same
like
way, and which I haven't mentioned on the podcast yet, in the past couple of months, I've not been playing games in general. I've been starting to feel the same way towards trophies and stuff like that, where I'm like, I just don't feel like, what's the point of fucking doing this? Like I'm not in the mood to grind out
We
the
did it,
sub grid.
Hunter. We finally got through to
Um,
him.
no, I don't know about
for
that.
now.
I'm just not playing games instead of doing. So it's not like
Yeah.
I'm sitting there playing games and going, oh fuck the platinum trophy. It's just I'm not playing games. So I'm like, I don't feel like doing menial tasks. But
But yeah, that kind
I
of
still
loop
think
has always
Helldivers is
been
very competent at what it does. I think it's very friendly as a game in terms of um, pay to win and all that jazz. People were like, oh, but there's weapons tied behind battle passes and stuff like that. You can get all of the currency to unlock the battle passes inside the game where you can find. So you like you just by playing the game enough, you get enough to buy the next war bond and stuff like that. It's all free. You don't have to
yeah.
spend once you
And
paid your initial investment into Helldivers 2, you don't have to pay money ever again. The game is so friendly. Every war, like every challenge that goes out, the weekly challenges for everybody, the kind of things that move the war forward and backward. You don't have to participate at all to get the rewards. So if you go away for a month and you log back in, you get all the medals that everybody's been fighting for you, and it just carries on. The
yeah,
game has no sense of this is going to go away, the FOMO of having to play. Every war bond is always available forever. Every battle pass is literally always there. You don't have to worry about it expiring. You don't have to buy it before it goes away. It's all there. Um,
Dragon Fable is like that when they have like specific events centered around holidays. Every time like a holiday comes around, you can play the previous year and all of the meters will be filled up for you and all that.
yeah, I
If
think
you missed one,
it's a really good game. The guys over there at Arrowhead really care about it, and it's like Sony made that massive fuck up, and I really do think it fucked the game up for better or worse. I genuinely do. Um, I've seen news stories this week and stuff like that. Like player base is down 90% since launch. That's going to happen regardless for any video game that isn't Fortnite or Call of Duty. Okay, let's not
yeah,
sugarcoat
Yeah.
it. There was still like there was a million people playing. There was a million people, over a million people, should I say, playing Helldivers 2 at launch concurrently. So yeah, that probably still, even if they've lost 90%, there's still 100,000 people playing. So that's still a very healthy game amount of people to be playing. So it's
yeah.
not too
It's
much
not
to worry
like you're
about.
filling in squads with bots because it's your only option or whatever.
And I'm sure as soon as they
I don't
add
know
the
how that
third
works.
faction and all that jazz, they'll have the ticks back up and all that jazz. But I do think that Sony really did lose a lot of goodwill with what they were pulling on this PC version.
Yeah, they definitely kickflipped the rake.
Yeah, they stepped onto a rake for no fucking reason. Like the most successful online game of the year, and they were just like, "What if we fuck it up for no reason, just for fun?" Um,
We gotta kill this to
Wouldn't
make
that be
room for
silly?
Concord.
and no, but that's the thing is PSM required for the all games on on Steam going forward for PlayStation stuff.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah, because it's a requirement for Ghost of
Concord's not going to
Tsushima
do very
too, which
well,
is stupid. Yeah, it wasn't gonna do well regardless. I don't
regardless,
think.
but it definitely isn't now, and neither
Yeah,
is Fair Game Dollar. Actually, I've got a bold prediction. If Fair Game Dollar Design is actually pretty decent, it has a good chance of actually making a good impression because Payday is so shit. Payday 3 is that bad that I genuinely think that if they just
yeah,
release a
they're
competent video game, they're gonna very easily be able to take over that market. So
yeah, their competition isn't quite as stiff. Whereas if Concord was coming out whenever Overwatch 2 started to come out and
2021.
disappoint
Yeah.
people. Yeah, if it had come out right about then, or close to it, I think it probably would have stood a better chance than now. That stupid Marvel game is coming out at the same or close to the same time.
Any hero shooter that's costing money though at this point, I'm like, you're just going to lose to Overwatch, even Overwatch and Valorant. Like that's just it. They're both free.
Mhm.
They're both free to play. CS:GO is free to play. Like there's so many games in that genre that are free to play, and you asking $40 is a terrible idea. But anyway, back to Helldivers 2. We'll talk about Concord next week when we talk about all that jazz. But
Mm.
yeah, Helldivers 2, solid game. Can still recommend it. But have some friends. I don't get the solo ground in Helldivers. I don't think it's a very good solo experience. So make sure you have some friends to play with, personally. And yeah, shout outs to Arrowhead really coming in clutch for Sony. It was a quiet year. I think it screams like absolute numbers that they think that it was going to be a quiet year when Helldivers 2 and Astrobot are releasing, and then having these two games be like shining beacons for the PlayStation community of actually getting people engaged. I think that speaks volumes for what Sony's like at the moment, where they don't understand their core audience. So
Yeah.
good for those studios. Good for those studios. Fuck you, Sony. If you make another third fucking person action RPG, I'm gonna smack you, right? I'm gonna get you.
You hear that, Corey?
You hear
your,
that,
your
Corey?
studio better be making
That
something
sci-fi
different.
game better not be an action game, you little shitter. I'm coming down your house, dude. I'm gonna fucking. I swear to God. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not.
Uh,
We can dream. We can dream. Anyway, what was next?
Probably
um,
Balatro.
Balatro?
Well,
Balatro?
yeah, well, those
Baloney?
Banisher's Ghost of New Eden by Don't Nod, another Don't Nod classic of coming
That
out and
was
then
one that
disappearing. I'm sorry, I love you, Don't Nod, but you have a habit of doing this.
when the year seemed like it was going to still be barren after the summer, a couple or a month or so ago, I was like, maybe I'll get to that sometime this year. I don't think it's going to happen anymore because I like Don't Nod and I would like for them to see success outside of just doing their narrative, not legally distinct Life is Strange games. But
Even then, like, I feel bad for Don't
I
Nod
would
because
like
they
for
do
them to
have,
see
yeah.
success with those too. I just don't. I just, it's one of those things where it's like it would suck to be pigeonholed when you keep trying other things. And it seems like
And I
this
think, yeah,
one is more interesting than Vampire was. I tried playing Vampire and it put me to sleep. So,
I
and
do really
like
feel bad for Don't
that
Nod. I
shouldn't
really do.
happen. Look at me. Vampires are right up my alley.
Yeah. It's just like, even with Lost Records having to be pushed out this year for Life is Strange, it's like, it must suck for them to know that their own IP
They
that they
have to run
created
from the
pushed them out of the
monster that
year.
they created.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like we still don't know to this day how well Tell Me Why actually did. Um I hope it did well
Yeah,
enough.
I
Oh,
hope it did
Microsoft
well.
owns that as an IP because like every Pride month they put it for free on everything. So it's like they own it.
Oh yeah, I got it for
Um
free earlier this month on Steam
I own it for
because
free on Steam, on Xbox, on
I'm
everything,
never
yeah.
firing up the Xbox app to play it again.
But yeah.
Toss that one over on the PlayStation, Xbox. I'll buy it.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I don't know, man. They're such a weird company where I'm like, it really must suck that the biggest thing that you made, Square owned the IP to, and you can't do anything with it because you don't want to work with Square, which I think is very like that.
Yeah,
I completely
That's
understand that.
valid.
Yeah, that's so valid. It's unreal.
I guess at least it seems like their other ventures seem to find moderate success. Like they made Jusant last year, and people liked that. Um,
Mm.
At
they
least
keep
enough to keep
pop,
going. Yeah.
yeah, they keep popping up with other things to keep going, or like,
And like, I
yeah,
hope Lost Records does great. I really do hope
me
that
too.
Lost Records is fantastic and it does great. I'll definitely be picking it up when it comes out in 2025. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, but also other small things that came out that before Balatro, just quickly, Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered came out. If you care about that, I heard it was all right. There you go. The only thing I remember
Ultros
hearing
was
was those
an
platinum trophies for each game on PS4 and not on PS5.
that that's weird.
Yeah, tell me about it. Which is funny because then trophy hunters were like touche, and they just all played the PS4 version because who's gonna go? Oh, I need the better version of the PS1 games, mate. Like no one gives a shit. They
You
just
know, I
played it on
ask myself
PS4.
that every time, but then people seem to find something to complain about for these ports,
Yeah,
not being up to spec. And I'm just sitting here like, does the game function? It's a PS1 game. What are you expecting?
yeah.
It
I need
barely
those 4K.
functioned back then either.
I need those 4K polygons. And
And then
whatnot.
obviously Mario versus Donkey Kong remake came out, which I did quote unquote say that was the most 77 ass looking game I've seen in my life. Got a 76, so I'm pretty proud of that one. Thank you for that one, whoever picked it in their draft. I think it was Hunter.
It
It
was
was
Um,
me.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Never trust Nintendo to make a spin-off Mario game that isn't a 77. It just doesn't happen these days. Apologies, but there you go. And then we can't forget Skull and Bones, Kyle. We can't forget Skull and
Oh,
Bones.
I sure would like to, though.
No, don't worry. The rest of the world did as well. It's fine.
I
Perfect.
did until a few seconds ago.
So did I until I read it.
Yeah.
Go team.
A game so bad they had to decide that they were going to remake Assassin's Creed 4 just to justify the costs of making the tech they did.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
of course, also they said remakes in a recent earnings call. So
Oh,
hooray for
yay.
the Assassin's Creed
Ezio's coming too.
Renaissance. Yeah,
Literally, because that's his era.
yeah. I
Finally.
can't. So you can expect you can with Eve's whatever his fucking name is,
Gamo.
Gimo. Yeah, right. Yeah. With the with
Yves
that,
Guillermo del Toro.
yeah, basically. With him saying there's remakes of Assassin's Creed's coming, that basically means congratulations, guys. 1 all the way to 4 are probably going to get a remake in the next 5 years. Great, can't wait for that. Not going to get
I
sick
want
of
you
seeing
to
this.
consider skipping 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then it was
I,
Balatro.
I mean, Assassin's Creed games were coming out yearly, anyways. It feels like so.
They haven't been
This
for
won't
a
really be
while,
any
but it looks like
different.
they're starting that engine back up. Like genuinely, it's been 4 years since like Mirage came out last year, and then so
Finally.
it's annual for the past 2 years. But before that, it was 3 years, and then it was 2 years. So they've been getting better, but it looks like
Somehow
they're trying
they
to rev that engine
still
back up.
make it feel like they just came out is the annoying
Yeah.
problem.
It's
Probably
the
because,
same game
it
each
takes
time. That's
7.
why it's
Yeah.
like series will go away for 4 years and go, look, a completely different game, and Ubisoft will go away for 3 years and go, look, it's even worse than the last one, and everyone goes, oh, good job.
Oh, dang it.
Ah,
I love
dang it.
Vikings, please. Anyway, Balatro came out of nowhere. Happy for them. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'll be interested to pick this
There's
one up
always an indie.
eventually.
There's always an indie darling of the year. There always is. Sometimes
There
multiple,
sure
but
is.
Balatro. Good for them, man. Good for them.
Yeah.
Don't have much else to say about it, but
Yeah, I
No,
didn't
I
play
haven't
it.
played it. It's on the list of things that I hope to get to before the end of the year because it looks cool, you know?
you've both saying I haven't played it like that. Then it's like it just reminded me of like every Twitter argument where someone goes crazy about like, negative about video games and then just goes haven't played it, but my point still stands.
But this is how I feel.
Because a YouTube video told me to.
Uh, literally the next day, there was a couple of games that came out. Bit of a weird day, but Penny's Big Breakaway, from the game from the team at Sonic Mania, came out, which
Oh, yeah.
seemed to be a lot more divisive than I was expecting it to be. Some people think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and other people thought that it was a bit jank. So there you go.
Well, it's
I've been meaning to get to
probably
it
somewhere
eventually.
in between. It looks
Yeah.
cool. I like its ideas.
What I will
Yo-yos,
say
that's
is
neat.
Sonic Mania team are wizards, and they work wonders with what they do.
They got Sonic good press when
Yeah,
Mania came out.
and I've heard
That was
like
unheard
every
of at the
port of
time.
I've heard every port of Penny's Big Breakaway is like absolutely fantastic. Like I think I think the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of that game are 4K 120 locked or something ridiculous like that. So, they know how to make a platformer. Whether it's up to you, like whether it's your jam or not, that's another thing, but my god, they know how to make a good platformer. Fair play to them. Pentiment got released, obviously, from Xbox. I think it's good to mention that this was the start of the the Xbox test of let's
Xbox
release
things becoming
The
available.
Xbox experiment.
The Xbox
Did you
experiment.
hear
Let's
about how
rip
they're
it.
going to be available on Fire Sticks now?
Oh,
What?
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Quality.
So my whole joke of the Xbox Fire Stick being the next console is starting to come true.
Oh
Oh, good.
no.
But yeah,
Hunter,
Pentiment.
we've told you, use your foresight for good.
I mean, it'll
Use
be
your
good for
speaking
me.
things into existence for good.
But no, there you go. So yeah, Pentiment was released and freed onto a load of other stuff. Um, got a physical from Limited Run. If you care about that, who gives a shit? The fucking Limited Run nicking all the. I hate. Why is
Uh,
Limited Run getting so many deals at the moment where they're like, oh yeah, this is always Limited Run? I'm like, oh, fucking
it
fuck off.
annoys me that it's always them. Because
Same.
it's like, I'm not gonna just. I don't dislike them enough to not buy the thing that I want,
Yeah.
but it aggravates me, you know?
Still waiting for Hi-Fi Rush, by the way. Where the fuck is that
Yeah, yeah,
Limited
where
Run?
is this?
Yeah.
You claim it's still happening, and it's 6 months later.
Yeah, like I say, who knows? Brother Tale Susun's got a remake, Lamau. Thanks for the free
Apparently.
points, nerds. That's the same
Th
video game.
that
You
one
got
was fun
duped.
because for, like, 3 days on the Open Critic, I think Open Critic was just taking it from the old score.
You could do that if you want. It was you can keep that. I think it's slightly higher than the remake, so you can do that if you want. Fancy Critic, wink,
Yeah.
wink, nudge, nudge. And then on the 29th, JRPG fans hadn't been fed enough, so the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out. That came out this year. That's crazy, dude. That feels like it was 7 years ago.
Dude, it feels like a lifetime ago. I've
Hunter, you
replayed.
reviewed this one.
I did. It was good. I liked it. The ending still annoys me, but, the rest of the game was fun.
Um,
It is a whole marathon of a game that I will probably play again sometime this year.
I will get back to it again at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna play it again this year. I wanted to go for the platinum, but I don't know if I have the fucking brain power to even contemplate that
Don't do
anymore.
it, dude.
Because I did it for remake part 1 and I hated that journey, and then Rebirth is even more of a pain in the ass. I know that the part 3 is going to be even worse, so it's like I'm just signing myself up for failure.
Yeah.
But
As a
Altogether.
friend, please don't go for that plat.
Made
no,
some
I
good
probably won't.
improvements on the gameplay, opened up the world and all that. So,
I absolutely adored
well,
the game. Like I really did adore it. There's so much. Again, we're talking about like with Persona 3 Reload, the character performances in this game as well. So stellar.
yeah,
Like I love every cast member in
real
this
good.
game. I don't necessarily. I've come to. I've almost accepted the ending where I feel like I've heard enough copium and enough theories where I'm like, yeah, I can see where we're going here. I've come to my own
I mean, that doesn't
acceptance.
make it not
Uh,
annoying.
Yeah.
it is. I
Maybe
no,
if
I
I'm
don't
maybe when
disagree.
I play it again and
Yeah,
if I'm not annoyed, I'll feel better. But right now, it's still annoying. So I'm going
but
to continue to speak that way. I don't care how many videos Maximilian Dude makes.
true. But I still love it. Like I still do love that game. Like I really do think it's a very special game for me. Um yeah. We've spoken so much about it. Apologies if you're like, oh, I was expecting them to talk more about this video
Five
game.
and a half hours worth
There's
of
a
it if you take the impressions and maybe 6. I don't remember how long the first impressions
there's the
episode
first
was.
impressions, there's Hunter's review, and then there's a 4.5 hour spoiler cast. So if you really want to hear our impressions, like raw from when we finished the video game with Dilwingo, please go and check that video out because there you go, you got 4.5 hours of impressions, right? I still love that game. I still think it's fantastic. I'm probably gonna wait a while to replay it if I'm honest with you. I think I'm gonna sit that one out and maybe buy it on PC eventually. Who knows? I'm becoming a bit of a PC shell. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Um, but yeah,
Gotta make it feel like your new
that my
shiny
investment
toy
was
is
worth
worth
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
God
If
knows
you
I'm not
needed
gonna.
to do so much to make it worth it, maybe it wasn't worth it.
Maybe, but also here's the thing, right? I would not do this. I would not buy a PC that was this expensive if it was just to play video games. It's because of the streaming and all that other jazz that I like to do and all of that. That's the reason why. My God, imagine I don't get people that just buy it to just get the nice shiny thing or upgrade like
Yeah.
every year. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Like,
If you ever come at me with the next Nvidia bunch of numbers chip or whatever, I'm gonna tell you to shut your pie hole.
Oh, I'm not gonna start that up. I'm not gonna be like, guys, I think
Yeah,
I need a
yeah.
new graphics card.
That's
No, I'm
that's
fine.
what I'm saying. If you
I'm
ever
fine
get to that
spending.
point,
No,
I'm going to tell you to stop.
no. You're still probably gonna have to tell me to stop when it comes to the PS5 Pro that I definitely don't need because you know what my fucking FOMO's like. But guys, I need the
Yeah, you
teraflops.
don't
I need
need
the
it.
I need the
You don't.
gigajoules per second.
There's not
Ugh,
gonna be anything for it.
I know, right? But
Yeah, the PS5 has no games,
I'm not
remember?
using my current PS5, so I need a reason, don't I?
No.
Astrobot. I'll play Astrobot. There we go. Perfect.
It'll be better for speed running.
Oh, you got a point, Cal. I'll put my pre-order in right now. You got a good idea.
Mid-gen
Anyway,
pro versions of consoles are stupid. I hate them.
I agree. I agree. I might still buy one though because I have no good sense with my money. Anyway, shall we move on to March?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
This March, as in comparison, this is much more of a dead month in
This
comparison to
was-
February. Um,
yeah,
Not
March
too
was
much to
real
talk about.
quiet.
I'm just going through everything. Let's talk about fitness boxing feat Hatsune Miku real quick because that's the biggest
Alright.
release of the month. Um,
Hell yeah.
no, Unicorn Overlord was the
We love
first.
Hatsune Miku.
Speaking of Vanillaware, we talked about them a little bit earlier. Unicorn Overlord
Yeah,
came out for everything. Cal, you played it.
I did.
What did
I
you think?
played it. I played all of it. I even went out of my way to like 100% it on the Switch version, which, if you know, if you're familiar with me and completing games like to 100%, that's not something I really ever do. So,
I also want to
no,
state that you said Switch version. If I remember correctly, is this the game that I remember correctly you didn't realize was actually out on everything else as well? Like, I feel like, is
yeah,
this the one?
yeah, I
Yeah.
had no idea. Legit, I thought it was Switch exclusive,
Which is fine because
but
Vanillaware
I,
basically made this
yeah,
game for Switch anyway, so it's not like it ran like
yeah,
terribly or anything like that.
ran
Um,
totally fine.
yeah. But now, what did you think of it, Cal?
I really, really loved this game. Like, it looked interesting just from like stuff we were seeing in trailers and the box art and all the artwork for it and everything like that. But actually,
Vanillaware
like
does
getting
have
my
good
hands on
artwork.
it, it was like it gripped me a lot more than I was expecting it to. And like, especially so I was quiet during that FF7 section, but I wasn't really a big fan of FF7 Rebirth. I feel like that game is very unfocused at times. And just getting to play Unicorn Overlord after that, shortly after that, and just seeing a game focus down on one aspect and just do it really, really well was it was very refreshing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's and as a strategy game too, it's incredibly simple. You just build your teams and then you build your squads of like 4 or 5 units and you just kind of send them into battle. There's really not much player interaction outside of that. It's just you can plan their routes and the levels and then your team is your team. There's a lot of like intricate nitty-gritty team building stuff you can do, which some people would find that entertaining, but it's honestly not super necessary. You can just pair units together and be like, this is the team I want to
I
roll
like
with.
the vibe.
I like the vibes. I
That's
had
what I
one
would do
Mm-hmm.
because
I had
getting
one
nitty
team
gritty
that
with
was like
stuff like that is for nerds.
exactly. I had one team that was crushing everything. It was just 3 people on horses. It was the funniest thing ever. And then I had like a healer in the back.
You should have made 4 of them so they'd be like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because
thought about
healing's
that.
also for cowards.
I thought about that, but I couldn't get it to work how I wanted it to.
Hmm.
I also don't think there was a 4th horseman.
What? Malarkey. Boulder
Mm-hmm.
Dash.
But no, Unicorn Overlord, very, very fun game. Check it out just for Vanillaware's sake, if nothing else. They really deserve it. Um, and it's like I said, it's a very easy video game. I've even like playing on hard mode. The game's not that hard. It's
Yeah.
very accessible.
No, fair enough. Um, then we're going to jump a lot through March because, like I said, there wasn't too much released. They somehow fucked up the Star Wars Battlefront collection. That was classic, you know. Two games that people have been requesting a port of for quite literally a decade finally get a port, and it was garbage. Shout outs to that. That's a good blunder. Um, Hi-Fi
Hi-Fi
Rush
Rush
came to
game for PS5.
PS5. Yeah, that was
Rad.
fun.
Still waiting for that physical version.
Great video game.
Yeah,
It is great. R.I.P. Tango.
yeah, yeah, I loved that they got shut
Mm.
down like 2 weeks after that happened. That was great. What good
Yep.
marketing from Microsoft. But let's not hold them accountable, and let's just let's give Phil Spencer a load of cheers and hugs every time he shows his fucking face. Let's do that
No,
instead, guys.
I
Still not
refuse.
butthurt
I
about
don't
that
care how
IGN
good
interview.
your E3 show was. I'm not going to forgive you,
The fact that
Phil.
I'm still mad at the fact that IGN told people to clap when during the Phil Spencer interview, so they got prizes. I'm still fucking
They
mad at
did.
that.
Oh my
It's
Oh
god.
my
absolutely
god.
fucking
Seriously?
mental. Yes, it's still
That's
mental.
disgusting.
I fucking hate it. Like, here's the thing: is I have nothing against IGN, but at the same time, I'm like, you had the chance to do some actual journalism there, and you just went for fucking friendship points instead. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking buffoons, absolute joke.
Clown show.
Yeah. Speaking of dead studios, the Alone in the Dark reboot came out as well. That studio also has just been shuttered.
Yeah, I remember reading the
Oh
press
no.
release about this and being like, Embracer closed them because Alone in the Dark didn't perform up to their expectations. And that was the most mind-melting sentence I could have ever read, because what expectations did you have?
Yeah, I'm like I say,
You're an umbrella that
Embracer.
everybody hates, and this series it had the one at the start that people liked.
Hmm.
What expectations were there
Yep,
beyond 10 copies?
I have no kind of. I have just no thoughts on it. How Embracer thought it was a good idea. It's same thing with Saints Row. You know, like it's just like
Yeah,
they
it's
keep
like,
having these ideas, and they're obviously the shittest ideas you've ever heard of in your life. I would genuinely not be surprised if it was just not like generative AI that came up with these ideas, where it's like, we will make a Saints Row reboot that has none of the personality. Get to work, guys. You can do it. Let's make an Alone in the Dark game where we just put two celebrities on the front cover and go, "Good job, go. That'll do it." Like, no, dumb. Stop it. Please
yeah,
stop it.
stupid. I don't get it. And
Um,
like, it's like I feel bad for the studio, because it's like, literally, what expectations what were they supposed to meet?
yeah, 100%. I also want you to know that this game was that unsuccessful that the Wikipedia article for it on doesn't even have a full plot summary of what happened in the game. It still just has the synopsis that they provided on the store page. So that's how popular that
Oh
game was.
no.
Uh,
It's mildly ironic too, because last year I remember them pushing themselves out of October to, dodge Alan Wake and
yeah,
any other
Yeah,
spooky thing that
Alan
might
Wake
have
and
been coming out.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they jumped forward to the year, and it still didn't
yep.
help.
Anyway, shall we move over to big day of March, the 22nd of March? We had three big hitters. We had Dragon's Dogma 2, which universally liked. None of us played it.
Did not. I needed a break from big old RPGs with commitment.
Princess Peach Showtime, which I got flack for having a. This is the Brit there.
This is
The
the
game,
funniest
like, here's
thing
the
in the
thing,
world.
right? I like to think that, I'm not ashamed of any of my takes. Do I sometimes have bad takes? Yes. Am I ashamed of
Yeah,
any of them?
Pac-Man is an
No.
icon.
Fuck off.
You're a
I've never
goddamn
had
idiot.
people genuinely get so mad at me saying Princess Peach Showtime is fine if you're a kid. Like, that was literally what I said, was it's fine if you are a child. For everybody else,
I've
it's
been
not
getting away
anything.
with saying that about Pokemon since we started this podcast. I don't get it.
And yeah, I have
Yeah, but no
people
one
coming at
likes
me in
no
my
one
DMs
actually
going,
likes Pokemon.
actually, this game is fantastic. My girlfriend's liking it a lot. And my response to the person that said that my girlfriend's liking it a lot, I'm like, wow, you should buy her some good games then. She'll love them even more. That was what my
Yeah.
opinion of that was. Um, Yeah, it was fine. It's the most fucking 77 ass video game I've ever played in my life. So, like, again,
And it only got to 75.
yeah, there you go. Bingo. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Look at
Um,
that, another Mario spin-off.
I don't get why I got so much hate for this opinion. It was mid. I don't care. It was mid. I would have given it a fucking 3 out of 5 if I had wrote a review for it, but I couldn't be asked to play more of it. So there
Bro,
we go.
there's still time.
No,
You'd have to play it.
no
Bro,
chance.
there's still
Rise of the
time.
Ronin, Hunter. Speaking of games that were all right, Rise of the Ronin. Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, Rise of the Ronin was fun. It, gameplay wise, very entertaining. Story wise, nothing there really. The vibes of feudal, yeah, Japan are fun to be around, and Team Ninja is good at making combat that's enjoyable. So it was good enough to keep me going through the cycle. I started to feel it towards the end. It was a little long, but besides that, it was fine. I, yeah,
wait, am I stupid?
Probably. You think Pac-Man's not an icon?
I do think Batman's not an icon. Was Power World not this year?
Power World was this year, but who cares?
It's not on here.
Oh, cool.
Might have been an early access thing.
That might be why. Yeah, it was only
I don't
early
know how
access.
Yeah,
Wikipedia
it's early
curates
access.
their
It doesn't
list.
count. Power World was out in January. Yeah, okay.
Ah, just like the
Anyway.
fantasy draft.
Oh well, good stuff. Um, Legend of Legacy HD Remastered's coming in for a second release date just for fun on
What?
this list.
On Rise of the Ronin Day?
Now, Rise of the Ronin Day, we got the Legend of Legacy HD Remastered. Let's go.
Oh.
I know what I was playing. Anyway, the only reason I
Something I
remember
do
Power
think
World is because a game called Palliot was
Hell yeah.
released the
I had the same
2028.
thought process there.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's weird because I remembered Power World. It came before Starship Troopers because that kicked Power World out of the public consciousness, thankfully.
Anyway, South Park Snow Day answered the question to what if we took the South Park games away from Ubisoft and gave them to somebody worse? And there you go, you got South Park Snow Day. Shout outs to Embracer. I didn't even find out till after this game came out that it was actually a sequel to the Ubisoft games. That's in the same.
Was it?
Yes.
Hmm.
And
I
it
thought it
doesn't
was
share the
just.
same art style or gameplay or anything, and it was
Yeah, I was gonna
garbage.
say it
Shout
looked
outs to
like
you.
it
Great
looked like
stuff.
something completely different.
Yeah, I know,
Like
right?
you could have told me, especially because it was under THQ Nordic, that it was just some old, PS2 tie-in game that they ported, and I wouldn't have been shocked because that's what it looked like.
Yeah. Bizarre. But anyway, and then we rounded out March with some smaller games. Like Open Roads and Pepper Grinder, stuff that you might see in fact like I know Pepper
Oh yeah,
Grinder.
Pepper
Ah,
Grinder was cool. I liked that one. Fun little. I guess it's technically a platform. You're like drilling through stuff and doing little jumps that way. It's almost like controlling a dolphin going up and jumping out of water and stuff. It was a cool game.
Oh yeah. And then we had April, which again, bit of a slow start to the month really. There wasn't too much that we need to talk about really. Grounded was the third game of the Xbox 4 as we will now call them.
Yeah.
And that was out on April 16th. There really wasn't too much for the start of the month.
I didn't play it, but that content warning game popped off for the internet for a
Yeah,
little
'cause it was
bit.
free for 24 hours on Steam, right? Even I picked that up.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
I didn't know why it became a thing for a couple of weeks, but I'm like, oh,
It was free
it's
for
like
24 hours, and then a load of people
it's
picked
like
it up,
this
started
year's
streaming it.
Phasmophobia or something.
Yeah. Um,
Dave the Diver came to PlayStation.
yeah, congratulations. Harold Halibut came out, which was like an indie game that I saw that was like stop motion kind of stuff. It looked kind of interesting. I was like, ooh, this would be good. But then I thought to myself, because I was going to pick it for Fantasy Critic, and I was like, nah, this screams to me something that won't be appreciated. And then it came out, and then yeah, the score wasn't too high.
And it wasn't appreciated.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what a shocker. Planet of Lana also came to everything else. It came out last year. on
Yeah.
Xbox and was received quite well. And then on the 23rd of April, we had to wait that long for another game to come out. It was Iuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Um, that was a video game.
This one, this one's on my list.
Yep.
It's it's an a JRPG that I believe was inspired by the Suikoden games
It is.
from
It
the
I
was.
think
It
it's
was
PlayStation
from
I
the. It
think
was
era.
it's
from
the
the
same
creators of
people.
Suikoden. It was like
Yeah,
their Kickstarter
it was a Kickstarter one.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he passed away a couple of weeks
Director.
before the
Yeah,
game
the
came out,
director
right?
passed away.
Yeah,
yeah.
which is tragic. Um, and on the same day, Tales of Kenzera Zao came out, which we have had impressions of. Hunter, you played it.
Yeah,
I
I
also
liked
played it.
what I was.
Kyle
I
also
liked
played
what
it.
I
I forgot you played it. Yeah,
got.
you did.
It was free on Plus,
I,
so
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
remember. I
tried
just
it.
didn't. I was a terrible person.
You just didn't.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ethan.
I liked the couple of hours that I spent in it. It was neat. I liked the angle that the story was taking. It seems like it was a very personal kind of story for the guy to make, and I think that stuff like that should be encouraged. The gameplay, as far as the Metroidvania stuff, um, I liked the two different modes of the attacks and whatnot. With the one was it Sun and Moon, one was for
Yeah,
melee smacking people around, and one
Mm-hmm.
was for like little magic
for
bursts of
ranged
stuff.
attacks. Yeah,
Yeah,
But no, good stuff.
it was a
On the
fun little game.
25th, yeah, Crab Game came out.
ah,
Another
yeah,
Crab's
crab
Treasure.
Crap
game.
game.
Uh,
Uh, Hunter, you liked it
I
quite a bit.
really, I really like another Crab's Treasure. The way it plays sometimes quite janky in certain areas, a little less janky, I'm sure, if you play the PlayStation version instead of the Switch version or whatever other platforms it's on. I don't really care. I don't have them, but um, I played on the Switch version and it got pretty janky sometimes. But overall, it's still a very endearing game. Shockingly well written. I wasn't expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting it to be as well written as it was beyond just a couple of jokes here and there. But like, aside from being hilarious, actually the story that it tells is pretty solid. I really liked it that way. Um, you know, it's also like the only Souls like adjacent thing that has like color in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is like the only one of them that's not some kind of dark fantasy where you're fighting skeletons. So, you know, that's a fun change of pace. And you can adjust the difficulty and stuff with assists to make it as not as punishing or not annoying as you want it to be.
Oh yeah. The next day, Stellar Blade came out.
This game was substantially less janky, but there was way less to actually latch onto for me. Gameplay wise, it's really solid gameplay wise. Like I thought the combat and combos and all that was quite fun. I did not care about the story very much. There were a couple of side missions that were cool. Then the side missions stopped being cool, so I stopped doing them. Even friends weren't very compelling, but gameplay was fun and the boss fights were interesting enough to carry me through. I wrote a script for a review. I'm still gonna make it because I got the script done.
It's coming, guys. But now it's sold over 1 million copies. Just recently announced, so Shift Up's probably pretty happy with what it's done. I'm sure Sony's
Yeah,
pretty
it is.
happy with it too.
What they accomplished
Um,
with the game is impressive. It's cool to see a new IP, do this. You know, I would like for the. It would be nice if we somehow didn't manage to have the most intelligent conversation on the internet about it when it came out.
it's
But
like, yeah, the fact that this game has been the kind of center of a
over a game
shit.
that I would describe as good.
Okay at
Yeah.
Yeah,
best.
good. Period. Like one word. Good. Fine. Whatever. Not worth losing your mind over one way or the other, and people are acting like idiots.
But Hunter, the censorship.
But Kyle, I don't care.
But
Bunch of-
Hunter, it's important.
Get over it.
The creative vision.
The
Audience,
creative
I'm playing
vision
devil's advocate
that
here,
you
by the way. This is
invented.
sarcasm.
Yeah.
Kyle's playing Gamergate 2 for fun.
We're
dude.
doing a bit here. I had to listen to my brother tell me about this shit.
God. Yeah, they
And I wanted
invented
to
creative
I wanted
vision.
to do anything else.
Listen, people of the internet, don't listen to the balding toddler tell you what to
Archetype.
think. Yeah.
It's a good, yeah. Yeah, just don't. It's pretty easy. And I really do feel for
Or
Shift Up for to have this game be right at the center of this shitstorm, really.
Dude,
They
if I
don't
made a
deserve it.
game that found success, like a game that I liked that found success, I would be really upset that this was the audience it found.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, and anyway, rounding out the month, the final of the Xbox 4, Sea of Thieves Nuts came to
Ugh,
PS5, dude. That's got it.
finally.
Was the
I have
best with like the 1 day left of the month. It was like PSN's best selling game that month.
Dude, my friend really wants me to buy Sea of Thieves because he wants to play Sea of Thieves, and I can't fucking be bothered. Um, it looks like is I don't know. Sea of Thieves looks fine, but again, I'm not into that grind anymore. I can't do it. I can't be fucked. I can't do it, mate. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
pirate. I don't want to. You can't make me. I don't. I'm not gonna do it. Um.
Shiver me timbers.
Anyway, May time. Hooray! I love May.
Maytime.
Um.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, and that started with a little game called Endless Ocean came back from Nintendo, and it went and that happened. It sure did happen. People didn't
This
like that
game
one. That got
closed
less than
one of their
Nintendo said.
directs.
Yeah, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to remember. Did this do
Er,
worse than Nintendo 70? I can't remember.
This got a
It did.
61
It did. Oh,
on Metacritic. Yeah.
oofy doofy. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Uh, Anyway, that came out. Then there was April 9th. That was a good day. I mean, V Rising came out the day before. I've heard people have been playing that, but I don't have anything to say about it.
I
Well,
got
we're just
nothing.
gonna skip over
Survival
Sonic
games are
Mania
boring.
Plus.
Yeah, so the 9th was a big day for indie games
Yeah, it was.
and for
Yeah, holy
franchises that
cow.
aren't influential like Pac-Man apparently.
Yeah, dude.
Um
Pac-Man sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did I hear anyone talk about Pac-Man Megatonal Battle Champs or whatever? What the fuck that? Yeah. No.
I heard
No.
about it.
No, did
To
you
be fair, I
shit.
didn't hear
Sit
anyone
down.
talk about these other games either.
You should have if you well,
I
that's
heard
you,
of
Kyle.
yeah. For me being Mr. Horror Game, I didn't hear about Crow Country until it came out. I heard about Pac-Man like a year or a month or a week before. Let me find the right time frame. Yeah, a week before it
I've
launched.
heard of Crow Country. You're a fraud. Anyway, Animal Well came out. Apparently well received. Very well received. Which the internet either loved or hated because they did not want to compliment Donkey and Big Mode in the slightest. So that was a fun day.
I mean, it looks cool. I don't really have
And he did the
anything to
job.
say. Yeah,
Gotta give it to him as a publisher. He made
yeah.
people fucking saw Animal Well whether they liked it or not. So he did the job. Crow Country came out. Hunter, you liked it quite a bit. Review up.
I did like it quite a bit. Go check out the review. It's a really accessible kind of old school horror game too. It's got like the same kind of vibe and feeling and structure of an old Resident Evil game, but it's got enough modern touches to where I think anyone could pick it up and give it a whirl. It's only like a 4-hour game, and it's not that scary, so even Ethan could play it.
I'm good. Um, Little Kitty Big City came out as well that day. People seem to like Little Kitty Big City if they're into that. So hey, good for you.
It
Have
looks
fun.
like a fun, silly
I
little
just like
town.
the name of this one.
What
It
Little
is a
Kitty
good
Big
name.
City? Yeah, it's a good one. I like that.
It's cute.
It's up
Yeah.
there with Bear and Breakfast for silly
Bear and
names that I enjoy.
Breakfast.
Yeah, you play as a
Oh, that's
bear
a
and you're
good
on a
one.
bed and
Yeah,
breakfast.
I've heard of it.
Braid got a anniversary remaster. I assume that's what that was. Was it remaster, not
I,
remake?
I would
Probably.
assume
What's the
so.
what I'd
Yeah.
difference
assume.
these days? Ghost of Tsushima finally came to PC. All 5 PC fans were
God,
thrilled
finally.
that they could play it. Apparently, World of Warcraft got its Classicalism expansion in Classic, so good for you if you care about that. And then on the 21st, Hunter liked
Oh, there's the
Hellblade
video
2.
game.
Yeah, well, no,
I'm
don't
one of the
worry.
only people. I'm one of the only people who played it, apparently.
Yeah.
But I
You were
really liked
you were
it.
one of the 10 people that liked it, and of those 10, you were a part of the 7 that liked it because it was
Yeah.
not universally loved.
Yeah, I think it was good. I liked it took the story in a direction that I thought was pretty suitable for if you had the continue Senua story. Um, but people, it's really comedic to me when like the people who the Uncharted crowd poo-poo in this game. When the reason most people like Uncharted is the things that you're not actually playing the game during.
Yeah, I mean,
So
here's the thing: is
Senua,
I don't think it caters to the same audience because there's nothing about
not quite
Senua.
because this isn't basic enough, but
No, but it's like I play Uncharted to have a fun action adventure time. The idea of having somebody going through mental illness and watching that doesn't make me go, oh fucking hell, and roll up my sleeves and press play. That makes me go, I have my own mental illness and I don't feel like fucking experiencing somebody else's. Cool though. Happy for you. You have a good time.
well, yeah, but like,
I do
okay,
think it caters to a different audience
it
entirely. I
caters
think
more to
it's
like the Silent Hill crowd, I would say, but
yeah.
then probably going to succeed better than Silent Hill 2 does later this year, but
Yeah, definitely.
uh because like I've said this before that Silent Hill, the old games, didn't really ask very much of you as a player compared to Resident Evil. There wasn't much in the way of resource management. You could get by just smacking things, really.
Mhm.
Kind of what this is. You can just smack things. I think the way that they present it was really nice as far as it felt good to do, even though you weren't,
Yeah.
doing much. But, every game, the gameplay is what it needs to be. And I feel like Senua's gameplay was what it needed to be, and the rest of it did the job that it should have.
Yeah. No, like I say, critically, did pretty decent. I'm still I hate to be like this. I'm still scared for Ninja Theory. I still really am scared for Ninja Theory.
So the one,
They
yeah,
went
I
out
can
of their
see
way to be
why.
like, we've greenlit their next game. I'm like, that means nothing. So
Yeah, it
Tango
doesn't
had a
mean
game that was already
anything.
greenlit. It meant nothing.
Well, I think they were in the pitching phase. I don't know if it was greenlit yet, was it?
But apparently there was
But
another game as well. They were working on two.
but
So one was
the only
greenlit.
thing I can think of is like, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say that Ninja Theory is safe, but the thing about Tango being close is they were never. Is like retrospectively, they were never a part of the plan, and they just didn't want to pivot because they're stupid. I think is the basic notion here. They bought Bethesda for Bethesda, and they didn't care if the smaller studios made a good game.
But my whole prospect on this is Hellblade 2 and Ninja Theory in general. Where does Ninja Theory fit in? Because you like you said, they were a part of the plan in 2019. Are they a part of the plan in 2024? Because it seems like they're
Yeah, I
pivoting
don't
away
know.
from the we need games of all sizes on Xbox because they are shutting down their smaller studios like they've fucking got an axe to grind, right? And it's
Yeah,
like this game did not do numbers. It really didn't. It's sad to say
no,
that,
no.
but it literally didn't even make it into like the Europe top 100 for the month it
It's
came out
very
in.
annoying. It didn't even on like our reviews. It didn't do the thing where it hits the niche like my other
Threshold, it
reviews that
really
have.
didn't. It like
It
yeah.
is one of the like outside of, yeah, it's one of our lower performing reviews, and usually like my more niche picks for things to review do find Arcadia Fallen was something that only I had heard about when I made that review.
Yeah. In fact, I might even be so bold to say is I think that it's the worst performing review we've ever made. It
There's
is.
gotta
I've just checked it. It is the lowest performing review we've ever made. And it's
lower
like,
than Persona Strikers.
yes, it actually is. I've just double
Oh,
checked. It is. And the Persona Strikers review, in context, guys, genuinely came out. Was it months after Persona Strikers came out?
it was like a month or two, I
it was not
think.
a
Yeah,
timely review.
no, it was not.
I am. I don't want
74.
to be terrified for Ninja Theory, but I genuinely am because I look at it. I'm like, what is Xbox's game plan
73?
here?
No,
And
that's
it's
the spoiler cast.
and I'm like, here's the thing with Hellblade 2 is, I think Hellblade 2, you really liked it overall, critically pretty
I
well.
did. I think it
I
was great.
think looking at it in retrospect at the end of the year, I think it may get a nom for Game of the Year depending on how quiet the rest of the year is. I don't think it's going to win a Game of the Year kind of award. So I'm like, and
Probably
also,
not.
Hi-Fi Rush did win a Game of the Year award, and it
And that
fucking
didn't save it,
didn't save them. So they're not after award studios here. So it's like,
No. Even though they claim that's what they want.
I
Whilst
genuinely am.
they
I'm really
claimed
scared for
that
Ninja.
whilst standing on Tango Gameworks' grave, though, so
Yeah, I'm scared for Ninja Theory. I'm scared for Double Fine.
me
They're
too.
like the two that I'm really am terrified for at the moment. And having a game greenlit wouldn't stop them. I think the only thing that would stop them at this current moment is they've been shat on enough in the past 6 months. I think they'd hold fire.
Yeah,
I genuinely
for
think there'd be
sure.
conversations where they'd be like, "We can't shut them down. We'll get fucking clowned on again." And Phil Spencer can't
Okay,
take
guys,
another clowning.
there's a 6 view difference between the Senua review and the Strikers review. I need 6 of you to go and watch it for me, please, for my own personal sanity.
Let me just go put that on loop real quick.
For your own
Thank you,
mental
Kyle.
health.
Yeah, lest I develop psychosis as well.
Yeah,
Of
but
a
no.
different sort than whatever I have right now.
I really wish it was
Uh,
performing better than it was. Not the
Me
review.
too. I thought this
Um,
would. I thought
but yeah,
I
the
thought
game.
because the first game got good buzz over time, you know.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that this one would be better. It doesn't help that this it's owned by Xbox, and this is the most anti Xbox
Doesn't really hit
owner
the
game
Xbox
that I've ever
audience.
seen.
Yeah. But you know, I hope you're okay, Ninja Theory. I really do. I really hope we're not having this conversation when we look at the year in review and go, Ninja Theory, that was a good studio. I really hope they're still going. Like, please, for the love of anything.
Yeah,
I remember Ninja Theory.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, same day, Ubisoft decided to answer the question: what if we made a Call of Duty game, but it was worse than Call of Duty? That was X Defiant. That came out. Well done. Um. And then we had a bit of a gap till the 23rd. What a day, guys. Can you believe we got Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, 2, and 3 on Nintendo Switch that day? That's crazy.
Wow.
Um,
I sure hope another game came out that day.
they did. The
Oh
quintessential
man.
quintuplets 1 and 2 came out,
Oh,
Kyle.
finally, dude. You know what would make it better? Another video game on that day.
You
Why
know,
did
you're
so much
right, dude.
shit
Earth
release
Defense
on video?
Force 2
quintessential
came out.
quintuplets is a very amusing title.
Anyway,
Memories
yeah,
of a quintessential summer.
my favorite part, the second one's 5 memories spent with you. Only 5. There you go.
Well, yeah, it's in theme with the quintuplets thing.
I know, but I feel like it'd just be funny if it was just like quintessential memories spent with you. Just not, yeah, like, there you go. Whatever.
Oh, cool. Those hyperdimension games were on the PS3.
Yeah, dude.
Good
All
job,
right.
y'all. PS3 still has no games.
Anyway, yeah, all
This is-
joking aside, the Paper
Anyways,
Mario Thousand Year
a
Door
good
remake
video
came out
game
on
did
that
come
day.
out. Yeah,
Kyle, you played it.
I did play it. It's very good. If you played GameCube Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, you'll like this one too.
Except now you can smack people with a hammer in the overworld, which makes it better.
Yeah, now you can hit people with a hammer and it runs at 30 FPS.
No good.
And you can install a mod where Mario hits the gritty when he walks.
And Nintendo didn't like that.
Aw.
The
Aw,
mod's
dang it.
gone. The mod's gone. They took down the mod.
Oh, that means they're
They
gonna
didn't
patch
like
it in
Mario doing
soon
the gritty, dude.
themselves.
They genuinely removed it from Nexus mods. It feels bad, but you know.
There were some really good mods for this game. Like there's another one I saw recently where every time you tattled on someone with Goombella, she would either say smash or pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great.
That's funny. Does it just
These are the mods I
override?
want.
Does it just override like the codex entry, or does she
Yeah,
just say it at the
Yeah.
beginning or end? That's
yeah.
funny.
The text box just says smash or pass.
That's funny.
So
But
download that before Nintendo takes it away from you, apparently. Nah,
its
game's
release, it's
good.
a good game. Yeah.
Game's real fun. Very solid. About as true to form as a remake can be, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to have this game available again.
Out of
Hell yeah.
GameCube jail.
Out of GameCube jail. You no longer need to sell your kidney to buy it.
Yeah.
Speaking of games in prison, Multiverse is finally re-released, worse than it was when it went to prison. So
Oh,
you know,
finally. Dude, we finally got Fighting Game of the Year 2022 released.
yeah, and apparently
How
it's
did this
Yay!
thing
shittier.
beat Sifu?
Hey,
And it's shittier, and it's
woo,
microtransaction to hell.
good
And it
Wasn't it
stuff.
like
looks
that
like it
already?
runs like a dying cat.
Yeah,
Well, to be
'Cause
fair, it
holy
looks
shit.
like a dying cat.
That too.
Anyway, to end the month off, you had Nightmare Cart, the Bloodborne thing that
Ah,
Sony
yeah,
cease and
Nightmare Cart.
desisted, so
That's
it just became
that game is
Nightmare Cart.
fun. I
Yeah,
enjoy it. It's free.
that's
Everyone should go
fun.
download and play it.
And
Suck at
then
Mario Kart.
Hypercharge, which was a little indie game that got a bit of virality that came to Xbox. It was basically toy soldiers, like kind of shooter thing in a store, like in a
Oh,
toy
Hmm,
store.
oh, Toy
It got a bit of
that's neat.
Soldiers.
virality.
Jack's
Apparently, it
favorite
sold like
strategy game.
100,000 units. So it turns out Xbox fans can buy video games once in a blue moon. So good for them, I guess.
Hmm.
Finally found that buy button on the Xbox store. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast yet. I found out why people don't buy games on the Xbox store because the sale was going on. I saw a game that I was just like, oh fuck it, I'll buy it.
It's because their
Bought it.
UI is bad.
Yeah, didn't no bought it. Money went away. Not in my library. Acting as if I didn't own it. Had to refund it off the fuck. I had to call them up and get it refunded and all that jazz.
No, no
So
wonder
that's
you
why
don't
people don't
buy
buy
them.
games. You've just got a percentage chance of it just not working on Xbox. Good stuff that is, mate. They're so not used to people buying games. Sometimes it just doesn't work. There you go. Job done.
Why does the richest company in the world need to steal from you?
Yeah. No clue. But there you go. And that was May. Let's round it up with June. Wow. There was a
Wow.
load of stuff in June that just came out of nowhere that we don't really need to talk about that much, which is good. Destiny 2, the final
Yeah.
shape came out. Apparently it was alright. Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 finally
The
came
critic
out.
score insists that it's good, and I just don't believe them. I'm like,
I heard it was alright. I think it's one of the better Destiny expansions in terms of story, so fair play to it. Anyway, Octopath Traveler came to right. This is confusing, right? So
Yeah,
Octopath Traveler
bear with
1
us.
was on Switch and Xbox, and Octopath Traveler 2 was on Switch and PlayStation. So now Octopath Traveler 1 is now available on PlayStation, and Octopath Traveler 2 is now available on Xbox. Everyone clear? Good. There you go. Everyone can play
why
it
are they
now.
so stupid?
Dude, my favorite
Um,
thing is that this just got shadow dropped one night. They just showed up on the stores without any fanfare or anything.
Rad.
and Traveler 2 is on Game Pass as well, if you are so that way inclined. So there you go.
Yeah,
And there's
I
also
have
a
a review
bundle
of
of Octopath
Octopath.
Traveler 1 and 2 on PlayStation that's there as well.
I have a review of Octopath 2 from last year. Go check it out. Game's
Oh yeah.
really good. You should play it. It'll
Um,
change your life, maybe.
Simmer down.
It might. I don't know, dude.
on the 14th, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance finally released to about 5 people playing it, I think. I think people like it. It's hard with that one because we're still in the honeymoon period for an Atlas game. So I
Yeah.
can't tell if it's genuinely the
Oh,
best
give it
thing
3
since
more
sliced bread.
months and they'll be like, oh, the base version's better.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the base version that everybody hated.
Atlas
Yeah, there
fans.
you go. That'll be the better version.
Give it 3 months, they'll all go back to playing Nocturne again.
Yeah, basically. But I've heard people like it. I've heard people like the new
I wanna
story
I wanna
better.
try this at some point.
The only thing that it's like it's got that second path, but everyone's like to get the most out of it and the story, you still have to play the ass path first. I'm like,
I
great.
don't want to play it twice. It's
So
long.
there you go.
I could play
Um,
Persona 5 again.
anyway, the Baton Kaitos remaster came to Windows if you are that way inclined. And then
That's pretty cool.
on the 21st, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree expansion finally came out, where
Woo!
there was 2 opinions on that. This thing good and this thing hard. There you go. Those were the 2 critiques.
Yeah.
Cal, you've been playing a little bit of it. We'll get to it in a future episode.
No, I
That's-
haven't.
Have you been? Yeah, I think
Oh,
he's
you just
just
been
been
playing. Oh, you just been playing
the
regular Elden
game.
Ring.
I've been playing base game,
Oh hell
yeah.
yeah, dude! Sick. Even better. I saw him. I was. That's so funny that I saw you playing the game. I'm like, oh, he must just be playing the expansion. No, he's just playing Elden Ring.
No,
No, I just
no.
wanted to play the game. I just wanted to play
I'm
Elden
pretty
Ring,
sure I
dude.
knew that he wasn't gonna be. He didn't like the game enough to get the DLC.
Well, he's liked the
I'm at
game
the
enough
point
to
in the
play
game
it.
where I think I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that sounds great.
It's called The Mountains.
Oh good. But no, I have that DLC bought. I just haven't played it. I can't be bothered.
It's been fun to watch the internet like lose their minds over this, and not the hey, it's Elden Ring kind of way, and more of the oh, this game is dipping its cookies in my milk kind of way. It's, that I don't like it. It's very funny.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, yes, it's done very well, critically and obviously commercially. I think there's been enough conversation and enough people umming and ahhing about it that now I'm not so worried about having a Game Awards where Shadow of the Erdtree and expansion wins Game of the Year. I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying that I'm hoping that it won't lean that way now.
Jeez.
I think there's
Yeah.
enough stuff coming out in the latter half of
Yeah.
the year where that
I
shouldn't
think
be
there's
an
enough stuff that
issue.
came out in the first half of the year that can win Game of the Year, and like I think we've
Yeah.
still got
I
enough.
mean, I would say so, but Keely's allergic to JRPGs.
Dude, so true. But
True, but I
FF7's
don't think
normie
it's
enough.
yeah.
It's true.
FF7 passes the
It is
normie
normie.
vibe check. So does Persona 3 because Persona 5 got nominated for stuff. So I'm like, there's enough
That's true.
normie stuff there.
Guys, Persona's officially normie.
It is officially
We
normie,
did it.
unfortunately. Bro, I played it. That's it. You know, and that's it. Like you're fucking done. You're fucking done.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Shadow of the Erdtree is out. Some people like it. I think the honeymoon period quickly faded from that though, which I think is very funny.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of early impressions from people that I like to watch, and they're like, "This is the best out. This is the best thing FromSoft has released." And then 2 weeks later, they're like, "Guys, I think I was in the honeymoon period. It's good, but it's not that good." I'm like, "Okay, calm there." But hey, it's more Elden Ring if you're that way inclined. Beyond Good and Evil got its 20th anniversary like kind of remaster thing. Apparently, it's not as ugly as when it
Apparently,
leaked
they
a year ago.
added content that insists that a second game is still coming.
They confirmed that it's still in development, which made me laugh.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't believe you. You're going to re-release the whole Assassin's Creed series before Beyond Good and Evil 2 comes out.
I think that's the plan, actually. I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 will actually tie into the Assassin's Creed franchise by the time
You'll only be able to access Beyond Good and Evil 2 from Assassin's Creed Infinity.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Anyway, same day, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble came out, baby. New Monkey Ball.
Finally.
First new
Some
Monkey Ball
good
game in
food.
ages. So this is like
Oh
an actual
yeah, that
brand new
last
entry.
one was a remaster remake thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Banana Mania was 1 and 2, and then Banana Blitz was also a 3DS game that they ported to HD. So it's been a long time,
Oh man,
and people seem to be liking it. So good for them. Good for Monkey Ball
that's
fans.
good. Good for Monkey
The only
Ball
thing we'll say
fans.
was I listened to the theme tune. It's got fucking nothing on that Hello Banana one from the last time. That was an absolute little earworm. That little fucker was like that was stuck. That still gets stuck in my mind. So now I'm making a petition that should just be the theme tune for Monkey Ball going forward, and we should just port that one to everything else. I'm sure there's probably already a mod, so thank you for your services. And then we'll just get into this week. There's a load of stuff. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD came
Luigi's
out.
Mansion.
It is Luigi's Mansion 2. I think people are being a bit too harsh on it, saying that it is just a up-resed 3DS port. I think they've redone a lot of the models and textures, but it still is that game at its core. But it's very faithful. There's also there's some quirky stuff to it, like they've kept the code base in the same structure and stuff like that, so you can actually port save from the 3DS to the Switch version, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, neat.
Interesting.
But they've done a lot of behind the scenes work. I think that people are going to be critical with that game quite a bit, and to that I say, where were you fucking fools with the Paper Mario shit as well, guys? They're one for wanting this for a reason. It's a 1-to-1 for a reason.
It's
Guys. Calm
weird how they're
It's
only
called
like
moving the goalposts.
down.
yeah. And it's like, oh, but I don't like this one. So
Yeah.
It's not
it's
as
bad.
shiny as Luigi's Mansion 3. And I'm like, yeah, they probably didn't spend as much money on it as Luigi's Mansion 3 too. Just calm down. I think it looks fine.
Because you see, Ethan, Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS wasn't a beloved RPG from their childhood.
Yeah, basically. But it's basically the same kind of jazz that the Paper Mario thing got, and it's vastly different reception. But yeah, that's it. That's the first 6 months in
One last thing.
2024.
If we scroll down to the start of July, Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail expansion came out.
What, on the 2nd?
Join us in August when you can play it.
Tomorrow? It won't even be out when this goes out. We can't talk about that.
That's so true. But
And
man,
like,
we love paying for early access to get into it.
Oh, you gotta beat the crowd. If only everyone else wasn't doing that.
Yeah, if
Dude,
only
I booted
everyone
up
wasn't in access.
there was like no queue when I booted up this morning.
Oh, really?
There was like
surprising.
2-minute wait at most, maybe.
Hmm.
Which compared to the horror stories I heard about Endwalker, That's pretty darn good. I don't know. I
Yeah.
wasn't there for Endwalker.
I don't know. It'll be funny now that you have this full sense of security. It's gonna hit the general public, and Kyle's gonna come home from work or whatever, and he's gonna be like, "Oh no, what happened? I have to wait for the train."
Ah, dang it.
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Anyway, this episode has already been going on for quite a while, but let's quickly wrap it up with a very quick look at the fantasy draft so far. If you've been keeping up, if you've been keeping tabs, here you go. Wow. Can you believe it? That's a lot of
Wowie.
games.
I can't
Mamma
believe Hunter
mia.
has so many points.
I can't believe that this
Someone
thing is
should
still saying
stop him.
that Hunter is scheduled to win. He's the only person that hasn't filled out his fucking draft, and he has Metroid Prime not coming out. Can someone please figure out this maths? I don't believe it. I think it's a sham.
Yeah,
Oh, what else does he have? He's got that Ace Attorney's game, dude.
Yeah.
He's got it on lock.
I've got
I just
Astrobot.
right.
Miles
Let's talk
Edgeworth is
about
going
it.
to save him.
Miles
Let's
Edgeworth.
talk about it. Let's start with Hunter. He had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which obviously pulled a worldie for him. Good job.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia did well. Didn't think it'd do that well, so fair enough. Princess Peach Showtime. I think I remember correctly. I said you were picking that way too early. I still stand by that.
Yeah.
Clearly, it was one of those situations where I thought that people like Pikmin got an 88. Come on.
Yeah, Pikmin was made by a beloved team.
Nintendo keeps who they make the stuff close to the
This was
chest
made
all the
by
time.
Who Cares?
This was made by the D team. Anyway,
I don't think I knew
you've
that
got-
when I picked it.
you've got Star Wars Outlaws, which I still think
Look,
is
man, we all make mistakes.
Star Wars Outlaws is a coin flip. Either you get a lot of points.
I mean,
or
I don't think
lose,
it's going to
or-
be a game that I'll care about that much. I think that the reviewers who are all right, listen, if Hogwarts Legacy, which, mediocre IP that people like with a game that was fine describably or observably got an 84, then I think Star Wars has a decent chance of doing the same thing.
I think it's going to be an 80 max, bro. I think it's going to be an 80 max. The only reason I say that is because it looks like it's got the gameplay, it's got like the simplicity of like an Uncharted, but it's 50 hours long. I think that's going to get on people's fucking nerves after so long. I also want to go by, this is the team that made the Avatar game that came out last year that also got like a solid
I thought it was the
70.
Division team.
Oh, even fucking worse then. Those games suck. Right, I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
they
that.
do
I'm
suck,
vibing,
but they
bro.
review well.
I'm vibing, bro. I don't care.
Even worse.
Even worse. I'm fine with that. You got the Plucky Squire, which hopefully does come out at the end of this year.
Not feeling too great about that coming out this year.
You got another classic Nintendo 70, which is, you love to see it. Lorelei and the laser. I don't know. You just fucking pulled that one out your ass, didn't you?
Oh, I watched a Nintendo Indie World where it's like, oh, hey, look, the Sayonara Wild Hearts team is making a puzzle game, and I'm like, ooh, that is a recipe for success. I'm gonna pick
Black
that
Myth Wukong. I like.
That'll be another interesting one to look
I don't know where
at.
that's gonna flip either. They keep refusing to show gameplay, and the little bits of gameplay they've shown, I'm not particularly thrilled with yet. So we'll see where that goes.
I mean, the
Me and
last time it was
Hollow-Earth.
shown, the last time Black Myth was shown, it was just a cinematic.
Which is they
didn't even show gameplay.
It's bizarrely backwards since they'd already
Yeah.
done the gameplay showing before.
Me and the
Like
Hollow-Earth
last
Hunter's Hollow Knight Silk Song for this year, where it's got a higher chance
It's
of Hollow
probably
Knight
not
coming
coming
out,
out.
but we don't know. Crab's Treasure only getting a 78, I think, is really harsh. Actually, I
I
think.
don't know, man. For a little while, it was like an 80, 81, and I'm like, you know what? I can live with this. I like it.
Hard
This is
82, 83.
acceptable.
Fair enough. Stellar Blade, 82. Pepper Grinder, 79. World of Goo 2, still to be released in August.
Undecided.
Yeah.
Nine Souls, pulled that one.
Oh yeah, this is another indie one. I'm like, oh, you guys made some horror games before, and this is inspired by Hollow Knight and Katana Zero. It'll probably be good.
Yeah. Astrobot. Yeah, Hunter got Astrobot in the end, guys, if you've not been keeping up. I'm still mad about that. It's fine. I'll just cry in the
It's
corner.
okay. Kyle got me back by taking Zelda because I spent so much money on Astrobot.
He also tried to be coy and get Metroid Prime 4 in the week or 2 weeks before the direct, and then it got pushed to 2025. So,
well,
Hunter,
you win
next
some,
year.
you lose some.
Now he's stuck with it.
Better luck
I'll be
next year,
okay.
and then Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Um, there you go. Partial
Which will
remake.
be potentially really solid for me if so the problem with that one is mainly the first one not the best in the series. Two, one of the best in the series. Hopefully it averages out to at least get me like 82, but it could go one way or the other. Like I don't remember what I think the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles got like an 87 or something. So
Yeah.
like if the goodwill behind Investigations 2 got me that much, I wouldn't complain.
Anyway, on my team, both myself and Kyle have filled our teams now. So these, there might be small changes from Kyle. There'll be no changes from me because Ethan can't maths. But from Kyle, other than Kyle, there might be some small changes here and there, a drop here or there. But for the most part, our teams are filled. For me, Persona 3 Reload, it did what it needs to do. Very proud of that one. Thank you. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, 90 did better than I thought it would fucking do, to be honest. So thank
Yeah.
you for that one. Yeah, pretty good. Hellblade did lower than I thought it would do. I thought this was going to be an
Yeah, I thought it'd do
86 easy.
better.
Yeah. Um, but well, Dragon's Dogma 2, not going to lie, did not expect this to do as well as it did. Um, but there you go. Metaphor is coming out in
How you
October
feeling
11th.
about that one? I think it
I'm
beats
feeling
Soul
very strong on
Hackers
that one.
too, but
No, I'm feeling really strong after impressions. People played it on SGF.
oh,
Um,
okay.
and the impressions were a lot more positive than I was giving it when I watched that trailer. It seems that people really vibed with it, so I'm like, ooh, there's a chance. But still, I think it'll be like. I think it'll be an 80 something. I don't necessarily think it'll be better than Persona 3 Reload in terms of score.
No, probably
Um,
not, but mid
I
80s
I'd
probably.
feel it's
It'd be
probably going to be like
insane
an
if it
84.
was.
I think it's going to be an 84. That'd be my guess. We'll come back in 6 months and find out. I guess. Another code 75. That's fair enough. It's a Nintendo classic.
Mhm.
Microsoft Flight Sim. I think that's going to do pretty fucking decent. It's
The
the
only I remember saying this when we saw some of it that it'd be funny if adding all of the stuff made people like it less.
I doubt it, but I can guarantee there will be people going, the realism has been lowered because you can now
Oh,
do
yeah,
random
there
shit.
will 100% be people complaining about that because for some reason people don't understand the concept of curating your own experience with games.
Yeah.
I just want to fly my goddamn planes.
Yeah, some people don't understand the concept of if there's an extra thing that you don't want to do, just don't do it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll actually affect scores, but it would be funny if it did.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it pulls out a worldie for me. I could do with it. Avowed. I still aren't feeling this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still not feeling this one. I know that as a studio, they make good stuff.
They do make
Obsidian,
good
they're
stuff.
good. But
The problem with them is that
I'm
they
just not
got
feeling it.
bought before they got Bethesda, and now
I
they're
feel
stuck
like this
doing
game
things in
was. I
Bethesda's
feel like this game was.
shadow.
Yeah. I feel like it was pitched as we're making your version of Elder Scrolls. Like I feel like this is what they were
Which, to
told.
be fair, they could get this out and probably a sequel out before Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, true, but I feel like they were told about 2 years
Probably be
into
as good too.
development, we've bought Bethesda. We need to make this different now. So now I'm just
Yeah,
looking at it and I'm like, that first teaser trailer is nothing like the final game that we're getting now. Um, So
yeah.
we'll see how it goes. I hope it's good, but I don't think any of the trailers have been good for this game, particularly since we started seeing it.
Also, I wouldn't be shocked if it got pushed out of the year since
Neither
they
would I,
didn't say
seeming that they were
anything.
supposed. The blog went up with a date and they quickly took it off and haven't mentioned it since.
Also, if Dragon Age actually gets a date for the year and not pushed out, I could see them being like, "Oh, we're just gonna wait."
Yeah, that's fine. Hollow Knight Silk Song. Oh fuck me! It's a
Sure
shit.
is maybe a game.
It's not happening this year, I don't think.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year, yeah. It's funny how people still want to hold on to this game being shadow dropped,
I don't
and
see
like
that. I can 100%.
I don't
I can
understand why
100%.
people,
Yeah.
aside from short-sighted, I want to play it and I want to play it now, don't understand how that's like self-sabotage at this point.
I could still see there being a
Well, actually,
world where
it could shadow
Xbox
drop
is,
like
yeah.
tomorrow, and it would be fine because nothing is coming out this summer. But
Yeah,
you know,
but for the rest of the year,
No, I can still. There's
nah.
still a world where I can see it. Like, we've got Gamescom and stuff. Xbox likes having a presence there. Nintendo likes to usually have something like an indie showcase or anything like, a smaller direct in that period. I can see something where in August or September it gets a December date or something like that. But I do not. I think the chances of that are very slim at this point. If I'm honest with you, um, is it still possible? Technically, yes. I do think a lot of people are like, they couldn't shadow drop it. They very easily could shadow drop it and it would still make a lot of money. I do not, but I
I
don't
feel
think
like you
it'd be a
shouldn't
wise
though.
decision. Yeah, they
Yeah,
shouldn't. They could though. And I also think that it's more of a, I'd see that less of a, we're trying to do it to build hype and more of it as a, this will be a big press moment. Because it would be a
I
big
f-
press moment if it was out today.
having
But
it showing up with a date would be a big press moment too. Like it's like I feel like being out today.
I feel like doing anything would be a
Yeah,
big press moment for it.
reaffirming that it exists. Just the idea that it exists
Yeah,
generates
I
people's
think they could do either
neurons.
or.
look at
I don't think
Metroid
they
Prime
should do a
4.
shadow drop, but I think they
Yeah,
can
neither
do a
do
solid
I.
shadow drop.
I don't want them to do a shadow drop. I would like to
No,
know when I have to like,
that'd be
clear
goofy.
my schedule for it.
But they still could, and I think they can if they wanted to. They can do what the fuck they want, really, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like we've had these conversations before, right? Where it's like everyone, like in the indie space, everybody has been trying to just avoid certain things, like Shadow of the Erdtree, like Hollow Knight, um,
Hades going into early access
Hades
at
2.
the
Yeah.
weekend
Mm,
really steamed some people's clams.
And also, like we said, that came out of nowhere. I think
yeah.
that there is space for Hollow Knight to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'd also like you to tell me when give me an example of, because there's plenty of examples that we can give of big indie games shadow dropping. There is not very many examples of big indie games going, and it's coming out in 6 months on this release date, guys. See you then. Like, it just seems to be the indie
Well,
thing of it's
not
coming out in a
necessarily
month.
6 months, but in like a month, coming being like
A
it's out
time frame.
now, I don't think is the move to do.
I think they can do it. I don't know if they will, but I think they can. I don't think they need to put a date out in the future to get this game to sell. I think they can just literally drop it. And unless it's on a big game day, they can do whatever they want. Will they do it? I doubt it. But I still think people who are going, they're never going to shadow drop it. I'm like, they made enough money on the first one. They can literally do whatever the fuck they want. And I think they just are going to do whatever the fuck they want at this point. The reason it's been delayed so much is because they like, we have enough money to just fucking do this for an indefinite amount of time if we want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, Penny's Big Breakaway, like I said, lower than I was expecting it to be, 77. But hey, Mania was only like an 82, so it is what it is.
Which is like the peak for
It was a
Sonic.
generous 82.
Indiana Jones, will it come out this year? Probably. I feel like it has to. I feel like, here's the thing. I think if Avowed gets pushed back, everyone goes what and moves on. I think if Indiana Jones gets pushed out, it becomes a big Xbox shitstorm again. I feel like Xbox doesn't want to take that many more L's, and I think Avowed is a smaller L to take. I think if they're going to push one of them out, I think they'll push Avowed out. But that's just
Do
me.
you think if Avowed does come out, there is the possibility of this being pushed though? More than
Yeah,
if it
but
didn't.
I also
Yeah.
don't I also wouldn't be surprised if Avowed keeps that November date and then they just they just send it out to kind of be under the radar.
Yeah.
I think out of all of them, Avowed is the one that they don't want to say care less about, but that's the one they don't give a shit about as much.
Yeah.
Of the remainder of the year. Brothers got an 81. Thanks for the 3 points, I guess. Anton Blast. I'm looking forward to
Well, that's
Anton
gonna
Blast.
be great when it comes out. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
I think. I think there's a load of people that are sleeping on this. I think it'll do pretty well. The demo's really good. I played quite a lot of the demo.
The
Assassin's
demo is
Creed
good.
Shadows.
I
I'm
like
putting
it.
faith in Assassin's Creed for like the 6th time in this fucking third time in this draft. Never a good sign. But you know, maybe this time, guys, it'll be good.
Oh, this one,
Um,
this one for sure.
The
Frostpunk
funniest
2.
scenario here for Assassin's Creed. I hope Assassin's Creed and Star Wars get the same score. It'd be
mm,
funny.
I doubt it. But hey, Frostpunk 2. This is just betting odds here. The first one did very well on PC. I'm expect it's a sequel that's taken a long time to get here. I'm assuming that the nerds will do the right thing. Rise of the Golden Idol,
I had
again an
my
indie
eye on
game.
that one, but you know,
Will
I
it
was
come
waiting for a
out?
date.
Dun dun dun. Who knows? And then my last three are all stuff that happened at E3. Life is Strange Double Exposure. I just wanted. So I bid a lot of money just because this is what I like to do. I like to do a hunter near the end of it where I'm like, I don't care that I'm overpaying for something. I just want the thing, you know? He took Astrobot from me. I'm like, he's not taking anything else. He can fuck off.
Over you
He had
say
no
you like
money.
to say overpay for Astrobot. I only outbid you by like $5.
I didn't say you outbid for it. I said I outbid for Life is Strange.
Oh.
You did not outpay for Astrobot whatsoever. I just didn't think you'd go that high. Dragon Age. Hunter forgot to fucking bet, so I got this one pretty cheap.
I did
Actually.
forget to bid for that week. It was
No.
hilarious. So yeah.
Hopefully it comes
I,
out. And then Lego Horizon.
I bet pretty low for Veilguard.
That's the thing is, yeah,
Yeah.
you bet pretty low. I didn't bet
I
that
bet
high because I was
low
like,
on Horizon and Veilguard. I'm like, I'm not too fussed if I get these
yeah, I'm
or if
fine
I
with
not.
Horizon. I think Lego Horizon looked quite fun actually.
Yeah.
Compared to other Lego games in the past, I think it actually will probably do quite well. I'm hoping so anyway. And then Kyle,
Yeah.
Hi.
Paper Mario did well for you, eh?
Yeah.
You hack.
Can,
Tekken 8.
imagine that, dude.
No, Tekken 8.
I didn't think this would crack 90. I'm gonna be honest.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
Tekken, like Tekken, just feels pretty niche to me.
It's
I
fighting
saw
games are inherently niche, except for
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat that hits the
No,
normies.
I
But
remember correctly. Because me and Kyle had a talk about this when we were doing the draft, where I was like, Tekken consistently gets like an 85 or something, because that's where it used to
Yeah.
always get. So I was like, all of the Tekken games get an 85. So I'm like, it's not getting higher than an 85. And then it did get a 90. I was like, no, fair play. You were right.
I mean,
I
it's
was
the
like, I
same
think
thing
this.
last year, Hunter. I didn't think Street Fighter 6 was cracking 90.
mm,
Anyway,
I didn't see a world where that would ever happen.
but it did, and you won for it. So there you go. Good for you.
agreed.
Good job.
Tales of
Cheater.
Kazara and Rise of the
Cheater.
Ronin. These two both did a bit lower than I was expecting both of them to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Rise of the Ronin score is fair, I would say.
I mean, yeah, these scores are fair, but they're just lower than what I thought they were going to be on
I do think
the
that
initial
people being
run.
talked out of playing Rise of the Ronin because of the score when they were interested in it before, stupid. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
its score is fair, I would say.
You got Visions of Mana coming up in August.
I do.
Unicorn Overlord 88. That did good. Better than I was expecting. Not
Same.
gonna lie.
Truthfully.
I think 13
Dragon Ball
Sentinels
still
got
coming
around
up.
there, so
Hunters Quivering with Fear, if that's actually a good
Oh.
video game or not.
no, it'll probably break even.
Eoden Chronicle 100 Heroes only got a 75, which seems a bit low.
Couldn't even give him the courtesy 80.
Yeah,
The
dude.
sympathy 80.
Nintendo gets them all the time. Come on.
Kickstarter games don't get that love. I feel like they always get lower than they should, really.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll get to this game this summer and let you know if that score is fair or not.
And then Under Night, In Birth 2 got an 82. And all the rest, look at all of these. These are all still to come for Kyle. Kyle's very much...
Wowie zowie.
I mean, Hunter, this is why I say, why has Hunter got the highest points projected when he's had the most shit out already? And it's like, I don't get. Sometimes I think these numbers are whack, and I don't
Yeah, their
understand
numbers
Oh, they
are
completely are.
whack. They don't
Because I'm like, the
understand
numbers
what's
don't add
gonna
up
score
now at the
well.
moment. Where I'm like, Hunter still hasn't picked a game. How the fuck can he be winning on points when one of his is definitely will not release? I digress. I don't get it. Anyway, Rift of the Necrodancer, still scheduled for this year. Do you think it's coming out, Kyle?
Wait, you still have that on your list?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's oh, did you drop that one?
Refresh your page, guys. I dropped that.
Oh, I guess it must have went over the threshold.
Has it gone over the threshold? Oh yeah, it's there. You go. Now he's got a gap. Now it looks uglier. Um,
Oh,
You can see where it's the starting point and the ending point.
cool. Right.
ah,
Anyway,
beans. I guess I'm well. At least if I'm interested in something, I can just bid more than $3 for it.
Shantae Advance Revolution is coming
Revolution.
out in October. Uh,
Oh, did it get dated?
just October. Month did. It got month month did.
Month.
Oh, oh,
Month.
and it's like
Um,
estimated.
SteamWorld Heist 2, August 8th.
That
Pretty
was a
good one.
good pick.
Thank you.
Bo Path of the Teal
That
Lotus.
and
He's going for that interesting indie pick, dude.
well, those two games, I saw that those were getting pretty popular
Yeah,
on.
SteamWorld will probably do well. The other ones did.
Bo Path of the Teal Lotus is a very hunter pick where either it'll do exceptionally well or it'll get like a 72 and we'll go, why? Why was this treated so
Y-
poorly?
I mean, it looks
Yeah,
like a really cool
it's.
game.
I think it stands a good chance. It's from the people who were doing the before the Samus Returns 3DS game. They were making the Metroid 2 remake that
Ah,
everyone liked,
yeah, the
but
art style
Nintendo
looks
had
really
to
cool.
kill in the crib so that they
Yeah.
could release their own.
Cal
It
decided to
does
take
have
a
a good
chance on
art style.
Flintlock, which is interesting. That game
Eh,
just disappeared for a while and then just came with a date the following month for the following month. So
Yeah, it disappeared for 2 years and then got dated for a month later. I feel like, and
hey,
he's
dude, what
got
do I have to lose at this point?
this next game also comes out on the exact same day. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess.
at least I had been hearing about this for like a year consistently from where Capcom had been showing up, you know?
So
And there you go.
before we keep going, I just want
Yeah.
to say, Path of the Teal Lotus, Flintlock, and Kunitsugami all come out on the same day. And
Oh,
during the
nice.
Nintendo Direct, they announced that the NES Championship Remix was also coming out on that day. There was a part of me that really wanted to pick it just to have 4 games come out that day.
That would be
Nice.
funny. It was
It,
like the first year we, three of us had something that came out on the. I think you had Life is Strange, I had Tales of Arise, and Jack had something that
oh yeah,
probably didn't score very well.
Gosh, remember when
probably
Jack
not.
used to be a part of this? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Barely.
Anyway,
Remember when we had 5 people in this?
yeah.
Remember when he drafted Oddworld? That was funny.
Oh, that was funny.
Remember when pretty much everything he drafted came out the next year?
Yeah, that was cool.
All of the ones that would have got him points,
I
yeah.
know. We all
That was
clowned on
Anyway,
him
funny.
for Lego Star Wars, and it got like an 82 or something.
it didn't deserve.
It
I
got him like
still
an
don't think that game.
84.
I still don't think that game deserved as much love as it got. Sorry, Traveller's Tales, but
Mm.
it was fine. It wasn't that fine. It was a Nintendo 77. Am I right, guys? Anyway, Legend of Zelda:
Anyways, a
Echoes of
Nintendo
Wisdom.
Direct happened
Yeah, Cal nicked Zelda for funsies, smiley face.
by spending
Um,
all my money. Smile.
Oh
Dragon
man. You
Quest
know what I
3
should
HD
have done?
2D.
Because I knew you were gonna bid for the Mario and Dragon Quest games. I should have just bid like or
I'm
split the difference
surprised
between
you didn't.
I should have just split the difference between what I had with Zelda, but I didn't feel like doing the math if I had succeeded with Zelda or not. So,
Hey man, I appreciate it. We'll make this a game.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D coming out November 14th. My birthday. Wow. A present for me. A classic JRPG I won't play, thank you.
Dude, maybe you should. What if you
It's
did?
the same
What
week
if
as
you
Anton
really
Blast and
like
Assassin's
Dragon
Creed. I
Quest?
don't have time. I don't have time. I'm sorry, I don't. I would like to, but no. Um, Mario and Luigi Brothership the week before. Um, oh yeah, and then Romancing Saga 2, October.
I think out of everything from that Nintendo Direct block down at the bottom of those 5 games, Romancing Saga is probably the one I'm most like
Yeah,
regretting. I think it's still gonna get like a 70 odd at least, like a high 70, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised.
That one
maybe.
definitely was just a slot filler.
Yeah.
And then rounding it out, like we said, we've all had one counter pick all come out. Like we've all had one counter pick with me and Kyle have had one come out where we both basically traded spots with we both got like 75s and 76s, which was good.
Yeah.
Hunter's still got one waiting. I have counter picked Star Wars Outlaws. These two chuckle fucks still have to pick something or else they get a penalty at the end of the year. So
I have
Ah,
offered a suicide pact with Hunter. If I pick
Yeah.
Silk Song, he takes
The
what was
problem
it?
here is that I think that
What
Dragon
the
Age
fuck was
stands a
it?
much
Dragon
better
Age.
chance of coming out than
Dragon
Silk
Age.
Song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you sound confident that it's not going to come out.
That not I was before I
I'm
saw
just
the
saying.
gameplay.
I'm just saying, Hunter. We can make this fantasy draft interesting
I have offered
instead of a
every year since
blowout.
the start to make this interesting at the start.
Yeah, but Ethan's a coward and never takes it.
I've offered you every year too,
What if you
except for the
offered
first
me?
year. Uh, the last time, or the one time, it was Elden Ring and Horizon, which before I knew that Elden Ring was going to be the game of the century, seemed much more fair. Um, what was it
uh,
last year? Last year there was something too. Probably whatever my not Zelda pick was, and Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, those are the
There,
counter
there have
picks.
been suicide packs offered every year.
If you
Well,
say
either
so.
way, that offer's still on the table.
Hmm.
Final
I'm
thing I
just
want to
saying, dude,
mention
you've
was
got
our
a
unannounced
million
games.
point lead over Ethan and I.
I have like a 40-point lead, and I feel like it's not that drastic when you consider that I have
I
more
think it's
games
still not
out.
counting things properly. Like I say, I
Yeah,
think I've got a load of bangers coming up, and it's acting as if it's acting as if World of Goo 2 is going to be a 99 every fucking time. I'm like, stop doing weird math,
yeah,
fancy critic.
I don't get it, but I don't think it's as done and dusted as Kyle's pretending it is.
No, I definitely don't. Um, Final thing to mention is the unannounced games. I hate to break it to you guys, we've not been very good at the predictions so far. We did
Speak for
add something.
yourself.
We did add a separate prediction, like a separate thing to make this interesting off podcast that we all agreed to, like what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, which is if any of these get announced this year to be coming out the following year, we get that as we get to reserve that for our fantasy critic next year. So if Final Fantasy IX Remake gets announced this year to come out next year, Cal gets it with no contest. Same for me with a 3D Mario game. Same for Hunter with Dino Crisis. Now I know what you're thinking.
The
Hunter seems to
unopposed
have the
vote
level
anyway
here.
here. Yeah. Anyway, Kyle, clip this out for when Ethan forgets about this
Oh, will
when
do.
we make the fantasy episode next year.
What, you really
Because
think
he
I want
will.
Final
Like,
Fantasy IX Remake? Fuck off, bro.
Yes,
No, I won't want
you
that.
should.
it'd be easy points. Final Fantasy IX is beloved.
But yeah, well,
That's like an
yeah, but here's the
88
thing.
minimum.
No, but
Yeah,
here's the thing is,
minimum.
here's what's going to happen, right? Is even in the magic fantasy world where I forget that we made this pact and Final Fantasy IX's already announced, this is what's going to
You
happen.
forgot the
Hunter,
thing with
Hunter,
Fire Emblem. 2
wait for that.
weeks
Oi,
with
little,
a
oi,
2 weeks
2
difference.
shut up, little boy. Shut up, little boy. I'm talking. Right. You win again.
Uh,
What a shocker. You pick first. If I, doesn't matter if I get second. Let's say I get second in the hypothetical. We're going off projected points right now. What happened, right? I get second. I pick third. Cal's in the middle again. You pick something else because you remember the pact. Cal gets his thing. We're done. You
I
telling
mean,
me that there isn't a world where even if this wasn't a thing, that Cal's first pick wouldn't be an announced Final Fantasy IX remake? You're telling me that there's a world?
Well, I feel
Nah,
like
bro.
Hunter would try and take that.
Yeah, but he remembers the fucking bet. Don't matter what dumbass Ethan remembers.
uh,
We're fine. We're fine. We'll live.
Well, I mean, the bigger thing is that I don't have to take it first round, and that's
yeah.
just my 10th
That's
round
what
pick.
Yeah.
that's what opens up
That's
the
most of it.
field.
Well, that's why you
Is not
start
having
with
to
the
use a draft
Ethan.
slot.
Because then
Remember,
that's off the table.
Ethan. Remember, that's all you just have to do. Is there you go. Job's a good one. But it's fine. I'm also really hoping for that Nintendo announces the Switch 2 before December. That's what my hope is.
Well, the thing is going to be they're going to show you the console with the rooftop parties, and their reveal is going to be in February.
They're going to show
like it was
30
the
seconds
first
of a
time.
3D Mario clip, and I'm going to go, that's good enough. That's good enough. Look at it. There it is. It's there.
Oh, is it the?
It's
never
just
remember-
Mario Odyssey
I never
footage.
remember if your unannounced game is the 3D Mario or the Mario Kart.
It's 3D Mario. Which,
It would
now
be the
looking at
better
it, if we were
reality.
going for this, I should have gone for Mario Kart at the end. I knew I should have, but oh well, it's fine.
I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference anyway, since
I think they're both going to
not
be year
out
one
this year.
anyway, but that's just
Yeah.
me. Yeah. They'll both be year one, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, That's the fantasy update. And with that, we're now like over 2 hours into this massive fucking podcast. I'm exhausted. Let's wrap it up. I'm nearly passing out. Let's do it. Anyway,
Yeah.
2024. What a year, guys. I love 2024, me. I love that we
Yeah.
got like load of JRPGs at the start. And then you look at March and April and it's like the fucking desert. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Come
I mean,
on,
looking
let's-
back at it, there was a lot of really good stuff at the start of the year. I know we've been kind of like negative or seemingly negative on our episodes being like, there's nothing to play.
It's
But
closer to
there's a lot of
2022
good
than
stuff.
it is just like a barren desert of anything, where 2022 was a super uneven year.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's an uneven year where, you know, there was 2 months in the first half of the year that were very barren. And I think, again, in the second half of the year, we're having 2 months that are very barren again. I just think the difference between the first half and the second half is it was middle months for the first half of the year, whereas the second half of the year is going to be the first 2 months of the second half, and then it's just September through December. There's going to be games coming out almost every fortnight, which is, you know, pretty crazy. But hey, we'll talk all about what's yet to come next week, as we continue our trip down the Wikipedia spreadsheet. There we go, perfect.
Yeah.
What is coming
Thank
out
you,
next
Wikipedia.
week? How we think it's going to go down. We'll talk all about it. But anyway, let's wrap it up. Like I say, I'm really tired, so I'm going to wrap this baby up. Thank you everyone so much for listening this week, guys. We'll be back next week, like I said, with those predictions. And then the week after that, who knows what we'll talk about. Final Fantasy 14, probably.
Elden
maybe
Ring,
Elden Ring.
maybe.
Oh, God.
That's what we have on the planner, so we'll see if it pans out.
Maybe. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back same time, same place next week for whatever we do. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.